What is up, everybody?
We are
What's
here.
going on?
We're back. Been a little bit of a 3-week hiatus there. We've all been busy working, fishing. This guy's traveled like around the world.
Unfortunately.
Rob's trailer snapped in half.
I think I've been working more than I've been fishing.
What it do, little Jay?
I haven't even been fishing the gunpowder. Just on the Thursday nighters.
Yeah.
I made it out one other day this week.
Yeah, you've been busy with work.
Yeah, work sucked.
Oh, wow. Look, they updated our thingy here. We can actually send messages back now. That's interesting.
Oh, we can? Oh, that's cool.
Sweet.
Great.
Now we don't have to monitor both of them.
What's up, Dan?
Dan, what's up? Happy Friday. Long weekend. Woo!
Yeah. Do me a favor, boys. Hit that like and the share button. We appreciate it. We are really pumped. Actually, I got to go back and re-edit that again. We are really pumped tonight. We're going to talk about some summer to fall transition bass fishing, and we also have. I don't know what his actual title is. I'm going to say he is a rep because he is a representative of Millertech lithium batteries tonight as we get into our battery segment. I had a question over the weekend or over the week from a couple people about batteries, and just decided this is something that we should retouch on again. And it was even better when we could get connected with somebody that was in the lithium battery.
Oh, speaking of batteries and work, I had zero time to do that research that I told you I was going to do.
I have the stuff up here.
But
But
I know where to pull it from. So if we wanted to look at a basic setup, like a basic electronic
Right.
setup, we can go. We can even show people how to find that information.
So definitely looking forward to that. And but let me I got to ask Tony really quick. Tony, how was your trip? How was Germany?
So, we spent 2 weeks in Germany doing some. I was over there for work. Paul stabbed himself. But yeah, the my unit and my old unit, we were over there doing a support for Joint Multinational Readiness Center, which is basically where you go to play massive, large-scale war games. We were just a small piece of that, so that was kind of cool. Germany's a very interesting place, Gesundheit. So getting over there, if anyone's ever traveled internationally, that was my first time. But traveling, I hate traveling anyway. Traveling international was dude, it was just
By traveling, do you mean you hate flying?
I hate flying. I hate airports. I don't mind driving. If I'd rather drive to Florida than fly almost every time.
I'm not a big fan of flying.
But I mean, the country of Germany is actually very, very beautiful. We drove, we landed, our final destination for the airport was Nuremberg, and Hohenfels, where we were. Yeah, U.S. Army garrison Hohenfels is about an hour and change away from Nuremberg, and we drove it. And I'm gonna tell you, there was not a single piece of trash on the highway.
Did you get to see the Nuremberg ring?
No. Nope. We only got to spend one day in the country, outside of the post. We went to Regensburg, which was, and I hate cities. I don't like congested, very populated areas, but it was a beautiful city.
It's different over there.
It is very different over there. You could hang out in the city. It was very safe, very nice. There was a cathedral that we took a look at that was built in the 1200s.
Thanks, Tyler.
Super, super cool place.
Hey, what's up, Tyler?
But I'm glad to be home. I don't know. I'm here for a little over a week before I go to Africa for another 2 weeks for more training stuff. So I'm all over the place this year.
Yeah, please hit the door.
It's a lot of traveling this year, but that's what the job entails. That's what we do. So it is what it is.
Well, we appreciate you, sir, and you're definitely missed when you're not here. And the dogs are getting rowdy.
Looking a little scruffy.
Yeah, Tyler Hawthorne in the house, UMA Lure Company owner. Obviously one of the favorite crankbaits in the box, the best balsa wood crankbait on the market, umalurecompany.com.
Makes my favorite crankbait of all time.
I'm pretty proud to say that his logo is, I think, on the side of my boat's going to be the first time you see a UMA logo on a vinyl wrap. I certainly won't be the last time, but it's going to be the first time.
Check it out. Wait, why isn't it moving?
It's not moving.
Yes, it is.
There it is. Huge. Huge.
Yeah, UMA.
But Yeah, so I like that we're going to be talking about batteries tonight because I've actually been deep diving in this subject quite a bit.
You were having some battery issues
Yeah.
this year, so
I did. I was.
Perfect time to talk about it.
Yeah, and it's funny. I guess we'll get right into it. So my setup is not off from a lot of people's.
No, we run essentially the same setup.
Right. But I've been having issues, and basically what I run on my boat is I have the live scope, everything's in the black box, all that stuff. And my other two Helix 10s go to my cranking battery. My cranking battery also runs all my pumps, lights, everything except the trolling motor is run by the cranking battery. That's why I have a Duracell Group 31 AGM. Now the X2 is a better battery, sure, yes. In all intents and purposes, the Duracell should have handled it all, and it did for about a year and a half.
It's the X2s are dual purpose, so they have a lot more. They're a lot more deep cycly
Yes.
than a Duracell. So you get a lot more battery life. Like I could, so I run a Helix 12, a Helix 10, a 10-inch Garmin, live scope, black box, Mega 360,
Back.
all my pumps.
Right.
All my pumps, everything, within the boat, off my cranking battery, and at the end of 8 to 10 hours of fishing, like I'm still pulling almost 13 volts.
Have you checked your voltage output?
Yes.
And it's
You check it
it's
at the
12.
battery.
It's 12, 13.
Oh yeah. Like when it's fully charged, it tests at like 13.8 volts.
But then dies.
Yeah.
So it does, and I think the issue
Well,
is
obviously because it's an AGM.
You got weak cells.
So
Well, it's not even weak cells. It's just pulling. It's pulling a lot of juice.
yeah. So I did a lot of research on it,
A lot of
and
electronics to run.
I did a lot of research
It
on it, and
is.
basically the conclusion that I came up with is that, like, what a lot of it has to do with the electronics, like the graphs, because these graphs are so much bigger and they process more, they just draw more and more power.
Dude,
The other thing I didn't realize, every time your black box is connected, it's pulling power.
always. Yeah.
Didn't know that. So even if the head unit cannot even be plugged in, that thing's pulling power.
Yeah. It pulls.
So that was having something to do with
It
it
pulls
too.
very little.
But it still pulls enough.
It goes into like standby mode when it's disconnected.
Right. So that was an issue as well. And how I remediated that is I actually went and got one of those Amped Outdoors little 30 amp hour batteries. I hooked it up in the front and I run the black box and the live scope off of it, and I can run that thing all day, never have a problem. And my cranking battery has never gone anywhere close to being dead either. So that's been a pretty big for the price. I think I paid. Now I got a lot of options with the battery too. I think I paid $300 completely, but that came with a bracket to mount it. That came with an extra wiring harness for easy, quick disconnecting and connecting and stuff like that. If you wanted to just get that battery, I think it's like $160, $170. So I spent an extra $100 on accessories that you don't need. So you can get into one of these for under $200 shipped. And it's been great. Very, very easy. Comes with a charger. So that's nice too.
And with that being said, our
To talk about it, because you got that just to run are you just running your black box off of it, or are you running your Garmin unit off of it also?
Both of them go off of it.
So the Garmin unit and the black box?
Yep.
So the LVS 34 black box and you have a 106?
Yes, 106 SV. Yep.
Pulls 2.8 amps. Mm-hmm. So that's essentially you'll get 10 hours out of that. So
Right.
it's perfect for that setup.
Yep.
Unless you plan on fishing like more like me, I often fish 12 or 14 hours. So like that would annoy the hell out of me, but
Right.
so you have to match your battery to your setup.
Right.
So
Can I steal one of these? Is that okay, Paul? If I steal one of these mix?
yeah, I'm not gonna drink 6 of them. I'm
Hell yeah.
not a professional like you guys.
Just practice makes perfect, you know.
come
So
on.
it's all about setting it up or getting your battery to match your setup, and there's a lot of calculations that you can do into that, and we're gonna get into that probably a little bit more.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that a little bit more. Mr. Sean Boggs is on the other end right now with Millertech lithium batteries. And it was kind of on a whim. Phil Givens tagged Millertech, and I just messaged him, and I was like, who are you involved with from Millertech lithium batteries? It would be cool to speak to somebody in the industry.
Right.
And really have somebody come on and maybe answer some questions and maybe correct us if we're saying the wrong thing or doing something. He's probably got some different tricks.
We're probably doing the wrong thing.
Obviously. So, but with that being said, please welcome Mr. Sean Boggs to the show.
Hey guys.
Hey Sean, how you doing?
Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Anytime, Sean, anytime. We really appreciate you giving us your time.
So I got to enjoy the 30 amp hour amped outdoors battery conversation.
Cool.
We figured we'd talk about that before we got you on.
Right.
You know, when I sit back and I think about, how many people I get phone calls from, or we get phone calls from, that want to know about batteries, want to know, what to use, the size, everything. It is pretty amazing that that the lack of the ability to look stuff up has really, it's amazing. Like, manufacturers post all of their specs.
Yeah.
And if you just add that stuff up, you're totally fine. Something else that's overlooked often is if you've got a whole system going and you're using the same cranking battery and whatnot, you have your bilges, you have, all of your pumps, you have everything that you also have to account for. So, having a dedicated battery is a good thing. It really is.
For sure. Yeah, I'm going to move to a dedicated battery for my electronics over the winter.
Yeah.
Partially because I've been having some live scope issues, but
Like some interference issues with it.
yeah, I don't know if it's interference or it's just our dirty ass water here.
Well, it could be both.
but I figured I might as well get it set up right.
Connections matter. Connections matter for sure.
The connections are good. I have almost no voltage drop for my battery.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have to play around with it a little more just to make sure it gets cleared, but that's another story.
What do you have hooked into it? I mean, is it all your pumps, all your grass?
Yes, I'm running everything off,
all in one.
I'm running everything off a X2 31 X2 AGM. Which I don't.
Why did you go with AGM?
I've ran the X2 for. I ran it in my old boat for 5 or 6 years. I've never had an issue with it. It doesn't. I can run everything all day. My old boat, I had a limited amount of space. I had a Champion before I bought my Skeeter, and I just had a limited amount of space, so I didn't really have the room to put another battery in. And I went with that X2, and I've never had an issue with it. I'm still at pretty high voltage. I'm still over 12 volts at the end of the day, even running live scope all day. So
good. Good.
So tell us a little bit about Millertech lithium batteries, and you guys are involved with a lot of some of the professional fishermen in MLF and all of that stuff. So tell us a little bit about that and how you guys got involved. And excuse me and correct me if I'm wrong, or for asking, what is are you a rep, or are you, what do you do with lithium tech?
Marketing and
okay,
sales.
Great.
okay.
Marketing and sales. So I do it all. Master of none, of course,
Right.
But yeah, no, we started this whole thing, and it was started by a gentleman by the name of Dean, who had a website, and he ran the marine side, and Lester, the owner of Millertech, said, and yes, his last name's Miller. He decided he wanted part of that, so he bought him out, and we basically, took everything we had before, plus added a bunch more, and decided that we were going to go out and market and push everything we possibly can to become one of the top batteries in the country.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
The lithium world's really taken off too in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Big time.
Yeah.
I think it's
and we started, the company was originally started in 1995, so we're not new to the game at all. The company is Amish.
okay. Interesting.
And
pretty neat.
We do a lot with the batteries and a lot with that stuff. That's what they have to use. So, we know a lot about batteries.
That makes sense.
So they're like running all their stuff off batteries and linking all the crap together.
Oh, yeah.
I know there was
okay. So
Yeah.
you got to know about your, your wire gauges and your amp draws and all that good stuff.
If you go to our website, you'll see, we got 300 SKUs, 300 plus SKUs, we're not just a one trick pony. We've got, a multitude of items, and we do the best thing that we can. When I say Amish, right, the very first word that goes through your head is quality, right?
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
here you go. Here you go. We've got a thing at the warehouse. When you call as a customer and you have a problem, we try to answer our phone on the very first ring.
That's so
That is
important.
our
That's amazing.
Because there's nothing
That is-
more
that is a
irritating
goal.
than calling customer service and having to be on hold for about 20 minutes and waiting to talk to a human being.
Or never getting a phone call back or anything.
Right.
We don't play that game. That is not a game we accept. We are totally customer first, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If
awesome.
you look at our reviews, and you look at any posts that we make, you will literally see people, commending us on our customer service and what we've done.
And do you guys have some like support out at like the fishing events and stuff like that?
We actually hire a crew of guys that it's a husband and wife. They go out and they do all of our video and everything of all of our pros. And then they take batteries with them around. So if one of the guys has an issue, they've got a battery.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
And I guess one of the big things that a lot of our listeners here and some of the questions that we have, Tony's currently in a situation where he's looking at upgrading batteries like we talked about earlier in the Bullet, and really curious, like what kind of setups are a lot of these pros running with their batteries? How do they set them up? And because they're all running like 21-foot boats, right?
For the most part, 20 or 21.
20 to 21s, yeah.
So, I mean, the weight is all probably about the same. Hauls are different, though. Hauls are different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, if you have more drag, you have more resistance, creates
Right.
more draw. But,
Right.
That it also, it affects performance so much too.
Right.
so
See-
how do most of these guys set their boats up?
They run two of the 3660s in parallel, so they get 120 amp hours. And then
Okay.
they run two of the 135s, so they got 270 in parallel as well.
Now,
Now they have four batteries, one charger. We have a 3612 charger, so it's charges the 36 side and the 12-volt side. One plug, done.
And so are they running? So those two 12s that they're running are they
They're
running
parallel. Yeah.
parallel? One for one for electronics, one for
Yep.
cranking.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so that leads me to my next question, which is the bulletins put out by Mercury and Yamaha about.
If you read them, it says lithium ion. It doesn't say lithium iron phosphate.
So my Yamaha just says lithium.
Interesting.
Your Yamaha just says lithium, but I can tell you this: that soon there will be a bulletin put out saying that it's okay.
Yeah, I know. Like I've talked
We
I've talked to
we
people from my battery manufacturer, and they said they've been running their battery on Yamahas
yeah
for years. It's fine. It's just the
yeah
older motors that it's an issue
yeah
with the stator motors.
because Yamaha had the stator right, and that was a big time issue. We've combated that by having internal parts that make it possible to run your motors. We have several of the pros that run Yamahas with our batteries, run them without any issues at all.
Yep.
So it's perfect.
I think it was the cranking amps of lithiums back in the day. It was one of they were weaker back in the day, but they've been more developed.
Yeah.
It was the cranking amps was the thing. People would
Right.
run all their electronics, but you would still have to run an AGM to start the motor.
Right. You would need 1,200 cold cranking amps to start a 250 or a 300, and we're at 1,500 cold cranking amps.
Wow.
That'll do it.
Okay, yeah, that'll get it done.
Especially back in the Evinrude, like when Evinrude was a thing, you had to have a lot
Yeah.
of cold cranking amps, and unfortunately they're
Yeah.
gone now. I mean, I still got one, but hey, that thing runs, man. It's a runner. She's a runner.
Yeah.
Another big question we also always get is, and we all want to know because none of us have actually seen it yet, but the lifespan and the life cycle of a lithium battery. You hear about them lasting, they're supposed to last 10 or 11 years or whatever some of these companies say that their warranties and whatnot are. Do they have that? Do they have that lifespan that these places talk about?
Nobody really knows. The best you can hope for is that you buy from a company that A, will be there, and B, back it regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, we've been here since 1995. We're not going anywhere.
For sure. Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying? When you have a business that's been here that long, they ain't going nowhere.
No, absolutely not.
So, I mean, you want a company that's going to be here and it's going to take care of everything.
Right.
Yeah, I've just heard. And to your point, and I know you guys are very customer service oriented, but I've heard just so many horror stories from other manufacturers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Particularly the Amazon brands.
Not to name anybody by name, but the DL would be the initials.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Heard.
Yeah, you can read. You can read the remarks and the trouble from people. I've actually contacted a few of the people and have taken care of them myself, sent them stuff because I felt so bad for them. I mean, literally just, I feel bad for them. So I'm like, hey, I got to take care of them.
That's
right.
That's amazing.
So
I mean, that speaks a lot
what
about
I'm saying. And I mean, I've had people call me crying because, they did the wrong thing,
Right.
Yeah.
And they know they did the wrong thing. So
well, and it's not and it would suck, especially if you're talking that particular company or others.
Yeah.
A 36-volt lithium setup is going to cost you north of $2,000 for the most part. So
right.
To have that, and then a year later you're not working and nobody's answering the phone, that would be pretty disheartening. I mean, that would be extremely disheartening.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, if you want to buy something from somebody, do yourself a favor, pick up the phone and call them.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the that's one of the things that before I made the switch to lithium, just being able to speak to someone and have them answer all my questions, tell me exactly what I needed for what I'm doing, was that was a big factor in me buying the batteries that I got.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I do everything I can for everybody.
Names.
I mean, I mean, I've been up at 4:30 in the morning answering questions, helping individuals, that are doing kayak tournaments, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what other company's going to have somebody up at 4:30 in the morning to answer questions?
Right.
None.
I mean, I don't need to be doing that, but I do it. You know why? Because customer service is number one.
Right.
Yeah. I can tell
If
you
I
that my
help
battery
you-
manufacturer is not answering a phone call at 4:30 in the morning. Right.
I can tell you right now that if I help you, right, you're going to tell 2 people, right?
Right.
But if I don't help you, you're going to tell
10,000
people.
Well, yeah, now it's even
You know
worse.
what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, back in my retail days, it was 1 in 10. But I guess with social media and everything now, it's it's in the thousands. Everybody's going to hear about the bad story.
Right. So I always, like I said, take care of the people that contact me. If I don't know the answer, I will definitely be finding out, or I will be passing on the phone number of the people that should know the answer. And then I check to make sure that their question was answered, afterwards too. I'll call them the next day and say, hey, did you get your question answered? Because I don't want anybody to be able to say, I called Sean and, this wasn't taken care of.
I just want to mention you are like a textbook of what I used to train for customer service.
That's awesome.
Yeah, following up, following up if they have a question, get them the answer. If you don't have the question, get a
Questions do you have?
Get them the right area. Yeah. It's like textbook good customer service. So.
Yeah, if you I tell everybody, I have to use the product in order to give it, 2 thumbs up. But so I get out there and I use the product. I have friends that get out there and use it constantly, and I get lots of feedback. It helps us work on our next projects and what we're, planning for our future. So, because we can't sit still,
So what would you say, and what's your, I guess your opinion on it, and do you think it's the case? I think that right now there may be an oversaturation of lithium batteries in the market. And I mean that in the El Cheapos.
Yes.
And it's there's a couple that you can purchase on Amazon. I won't say the name, but it's you'll read them and every second or third review is, yep, mine took a shit in 3 months and you can't get anybody on the phone. And it's so I guess.
Or they light on fire.
So how oversaturated is the market, and what's the biggest difference in technology between those Amazon brands and a brand like Millertech?
I literally can sit back and tell you our batteries are UL listed. Our top selling batteries, our 36, our 100, and our 135 starting are UL listed batteries. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but what that means to me is that they've been tested to be totally safe.
Okay.
They can fly on an airplane. We can sell them in California, because soon you won't be able to own a battery unless it's UL listed in California.
Fun.
So,
good Lord.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, yep.
Right.
So, but anyways, we have taken the steps to make sure that our batteries are the safest batteries in the world.
And that's important, especially with the price of bass boats now. The investment you're making in a bass boat to spend $80,000-$90,000 and have it, catch on fire,
burn up.
You skimped on the battery.
It burns up because you charged it or something, right?
Sean, how do some of these safeties work in batteries? You have cold safeties
With
and you have hot safeties. Do they have internal thermistors that open when they get too hot or too cold?
It's all done computer. It's all done with a battery management system, and there's wire leads that basically will tell you the temperature. And when that battery lead gets hot or that battery lead gets cold, it shuts it off.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you guys offer like a lot of different companies, they offer a 12, 24, and 36 volt battery? Do you guys do that, or do you recommend?
Yeah, we have 12 volts. We have
What's up, Brian?
24. We have 36. We have 48 for golf carts.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we have giant solar. We have giant solar panel systems. So, I mean, we have giant. Our warehouse in Middlefield, Ohio, is totally powered by solar.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
So we have. So if you go to our page, our Facebook page, you'll probably be able to find some pictures of the inside, and you see a rack of batteries right there.
Wow.
And that runs all
The
everything
whole
in
system,
the warehouse. That's
everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty neat. So you guys don't ever have to worry about a storm or nothing. You're good.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what would your recommendation? So like I'm building a 2002 Bullet right now. The boat's in half, top cap separated, all that good stuff. Is it more beneficial to run one 36 volt trolling motor battery or three 12 volt trolling motor batteries, in your opinion?
It's always more efficient to go with a single battery.
Okay.
Okay.
Why? Just out of
Well,
curiosity.
because when you start with all your connections in between everything, you add the extra BMSs in there. You've got
I get it.
so many different systems.
You create
going.
more resistance through your connections.
Yep. And you get your single unit. You're way more efficient.
Okay.
Wow.
That makes sense.
I mean, I've got guys out there right now who are getting 4 and 5 days on a single charge with two 3660s in parallel.
Yeah, I can see that.
3660,
So
that
let's
would be
say-
a 36 volt, 60 amp hour.
Right.
Okay.
Two of
So
them.
so in
120.
parallel, there's two of them, so it becomes 120 amp hours. So imagine if you could use one battery and get 2 days. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or 3 days. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I could probably
136 is the way to go. Plus the weight savings.
Interesting.
Squash the weight savings is a big thing. Squash this bug for me. And this is something that I compared to when I run lithiums in my John boat, but
Right.
I recommend to everybody, this is my personal preference, always oversize your trolling motor for your boat if you can. If you have a 21 foot, obviously put the most powerful thing you can put on the front of it. I have a 16 foot John boat. I put an 80-pound thrust on the front of it. It really only calls for a 55. However,
Right.
I'm running lithiums, and when you calculate your amp hours to your amp draw, because you run a smaller boat on such a lower setting, you get so many more hours out of them. But
Correct.
the myth that when you look at these things is the lithium batteries go from 100% to 1% at a full discharge rate, where lead acid and AGM begin to lose their capacity and their charge and their power. For people that don't
When it
understand
really-
that,
Yeah.
Right away.
at 50 to 60%, that starts to go down. So if you have
Yeah.
a 100 amp hour lead acid battery, you're really only getting 50% out of that battery before it dies. So if you have a 50 amp hour lithium battery, you're getting a true 50 hours, where I feel as though, are you only getting 25 hours out of the other battery? Are you essentially doubling your time?
You're not actually doubling your time. What you're doing is, because a lithium battery always holds just a little bit of juice back to power that BMS, so when you hook it to a charger, you're not killing the battery. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it always holds just a little bit back. So some manufacturers are 5%, some are 2%. I've talked to an individual who said that his company holds back 10%.
I think that's what mine did. I think mine hold 10%.
So if you're holding back percentages, you know, but you're still getting way more power than you would ever with lead acid.
So it makes the calculations between calculating lithium and calculating lead acid
Right.
different, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, they want you to do the calculation as a whole for lead acid and lithium.
You can't.
But I feel as though
There's no
lithium is just
comparing.
completely different.
It is.
Yeah.
You can't
100%.
compare. You cannot compare the two at all. Anybody that tells you, "Oh yeah, I've got AGMs and I can go farther than, or I can go as far as you with your, lithium batteries," is crazy.
Yeah, you
Because there's
can't
no way.
because you have
Absolutely.
that. You have that linear voltage drop. So not only
Yeah.
are they not lasting as long, but when your voltage drops, now you got to turn your trolling, like if you're talking about trolling motor, now you got to turn your trolling motor up to go the same speed. Now you're pulling more amps.
Right.
And it just exponentially increases the amount of power you're using in that AGM battery versus your lithium.
I've got a tin rig, and I go to Detroit River. And if you know anything about the Great Lakes and Detroit River,
Current, big,
a bunch of
smallmouth.
Yep.
Current, big smallmouth, right?
That's all you need to know.
Now we're talking.
I've got two 2460s in my John boat, okay, and I'm on my trolling motor spot locked in the current, and my spot lock. I look down at my Garmin, and it's only one light lit up because it don't have to work as hard because it's actually overpowered for the boat. Okay, so it's not struggling, and it's running lithiums, so there's no drop, so it's staying at 1 the whole day, spot locked, while I'm catching smallmouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get off the water and I've got 89% left. You can't beat that.
Right.
I think, in my opinion, as somebody who, we're a diverse group here. I don't fish very many tournaments. I really love recreational fishing.
Yeah, me neither.
I love throwing big glide baits, stuff like that. These two are fishing a tournament every single weekend. So we have different stuff here going on in Bass and Beer. So guys are running their boats differently. I'm running my boat different than Paul. Paul's got a different size boat. He's got a different size boat. I've got a different size boat. And that was one of the things that I found when I upgraded my John boat and I put that 80-pound thrust on there. I would never go back to a 12-volt, like 35 or like 45, 50-pound thrust system for a boat like that ever again. You just have to run the thing on 7 or 8 power to maintain speed and current or wind or anything like that. And you're wiping everything out. Where if you just oversize it, you can just control your power for what you need for the boat. It's a better setup in my opinion.
I think you brought up a good point about different fishing styles, and that's something that not a lot of people look at when they're talking about like what kind of batteries they're going to get. Like as far as going with like a 50 amp hour or 100 amp hour, even if it's lithium, is I stand on my trolling motor the entire time I'm out there. I cannot use a 50 amp hour battery. I almost killed a 100 amp hour battery in an 8-hour fishing tournament one time. Obviously fishing heavy current, but that's just me. That's my fishing style where, somebody like Chad, is gonna, may go to a piece of cover and sit there, in one spot. So obviously he may not have the same battery needs that I have where I'm on 7, covering the entire lake on the trolling motor.
Or where you fish. If you fish somewhere that has a lot of current, or if you fish somewhere that it's just still water a lot, there's big differences.
That's one of the first questions we ask is, honestly, where do you fish? Oh, you fish here? Well, how do you fish there? Are you doing tournaments? Are you, carrying extra weight? Are you that guy that has the John boat that has to have every lure known to man in it? I mean, what are you doing? I mean, fill us in so we can help view.
Yep. Because it all makes a difference. The weight that you have in your boat and
absolutely.
the way that you approach your fishing.
I come from that KVD school of fishing. Just because my trolling motor's on 10 doesn't mean my bait's moving fast.
My trolling motor's on 10, but I'm usually, scoping.
We don't get to do a lot of scoping around here.
Yeah, we do. We are incredibly shallow around here.
Yeah, we're Great Lakes. You know,
I love the Great Lakes.
So
I've never gotten to fish Erie though. I really it's not that far away. Like I could go do it.
It's beautiful.
It's just if I'm going to drive that far, I go to the St. Lawrence.
Are you still in the boat ramp parking lot?
No, I'm at home.
Okay, there you go.
I just put the boat away, so I'm just sitting out here.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So before we got on there, you were at the boat ramp, and you said you were on them.
I was on them.
Oh yeah.
Walleye.
Oh, that's awesome.
Walleye.
Okay, walleye. What do you throw for them?
Well, actually, I catch them on a tube bait.
Really?
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. They eat the tube.
You watch them on scope.
Yep.
We do when we go walleye fishing up in Conowingo, almost it's either silver buddies or a small swim bait.
When I get off, I'll send you a video of scope and you'll see the walleye.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
that's interesting. So, yeah, that'd be really cool.
I use the Helm app a lot and do a lot of video and stuff like that.
So let me ask you this, because you obviously have a ton of experience with batteries and all that stuff. If you're at liberty to say so, what would in your opinion, what's the best trolling motor that's out today?
If I want technology, I'm going to go with Garmin. I think Garmin's technology is unbelievable. If I want lightness, I'm going to go with PowerPole.
Yep. It weighs half as much as the others.
Yeah, right.
And if I'm going to go with, and if I want to get something that is, everybody's got parts or can fix, it would be a Minn Kota.
Yeah, that's I have an Ultrex Quest. Super impressed. I got it on my. I just bought my Skeeter in February, and that was the only upgrade I did was the Ultrex Quest. Man, that brushless motor is amazing.
Yeah. We were talking about the new Quest, and they finally started making the bushings, on that trolling motor.
Yes.
They were plastic before, and they would always break.
They're all the time. I used to buy them. I bought those bushings 10 sets at a time.
Yeah.
I would buy them. I would order them when I got down to 2 or 3. Make another order because between me and my best friend on his boat, 2 to 3 times a year on each boat that we were replacing the bushings.
Yeah. So now you have, now that they've made them on the Quest, I think they made them metal on the Quest.
They did.
So, so you should be okay there.
Yeah. It's definitely the mount is so much better made than the older Ultrex. That was one of the things that I noticed that I first noticed about it. A lot of those hinge components they're way heavier duty. They're machined parts versus cast parts. So it's definitely a huge upgrade over the older Ultrex. It was worth the extra $1,000.
Right. I run the Garmin. I wanted everything to be the same, so I've got Garmin's. And there's been no issues at all.
That's what
I love the ability to sit in the back with the remote and mess around and use the wireless foot pedal wherever I want in the boat. I love that ability.
And then you brought up a good point. You said I wanted everything to match, and that's usually what I tell. And whenever people ask me, like, what kind of trolling motor should I get? The first thing I ask them, well, what kind of units do you have?
Yeah, what do you
I have Humminbird. If you have Humminbirds, get them in Coda.
Right.
They're going to link
Right.
together. There's some cool stuff that you can do with them.
Right.
If you have Garmin's, get a Garmin. Again, cool stuff that happens. If you have a Lowrance, get a Lowrance.
Now we were
There's
talking a little.
undeniably some quality differences.
I don't tell anybody to get a Lowrance.
I don't tell
I
anybody
don't
to get a
tell
Lowrance.
anybody.
It's funny you say that because when I was on the St. Lawrence River a couple months ago fishing, one of my best friends has a Ghost, and like that thing was a piece of crap. It had been to the factory twice since he bought it. It wouldn't stow right. It was a nightmare.
See, I know a lot of people that
complete
have them.
nightmare.
The
And have
Ultrex
no-
is noisy, Jim. I agree.
Not the
my-
Quest. The
not my
Quest
Quest.
is not.
Well, yeah, I don't know about the Quest or
So-
the Power Pole Move, but I have
So
heard the Move has some bugs too.
The Move is so again.
I know
it's
two
one of
people that have it, and
It's
they've
so
broken both of
lightweight.
them.
It's so
It's so
light, but it's
lightweight.
got bugs apparently.
So-
I hear they break
Yeah,
a
it
lot.
does. It does.
My
I don't
best
know.
friend.
I haven't heard that they break a lot, but I have heard that there is a lot of bugs, and they have to download a lot of software updates, and
So
you know.
So my best friend has a Move, and he has replaced the foot twice, and
Oh, geez.
he's replaced the foot twice. He's rebuilt the control. Had to rebuild the control. They had to send him parts to rebuild the control boards in the foot pedal because the foot pedal wouldn't connect. His digital display just went out the other day, and he's only had it for 6
For
months.
$5,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's 6 months old, and he hasn't. Normally, he fishes a ton. He hasn't even fished that much
At
this year.
least Power Pole has some banging customer service.
But what good is customer service if the
Thank
product
you.
doesn't work?
Thank you.
They'll
Thank
fix it though. They'll make it better. It's only
They
been on the
will make
market
it
for 2 seasons.
He's had it for 6 months. It's been down more time than it's been up.
Yeah, you know what? You would
Yeah, you would
definitely
think they
think
would
that through
take it back.
testing, you know what I mean.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. We had an individual that had a battery, and you know we just tried everything, and we couldn't get the battery to work right. So we mailed him a battery with a return shipping label, so that way he could go ahead and have his battery, and you know, so he could send us the battery back. It turned out it wasn't even the battery; it was his charger. He was charging with another brand of charger, so we ended up sending him a free charger to make sure that he could use his new battery.
Wow.
I will
It
say
was
that
like, oh my god!
some of
It was
those
like,
That's
lithium
customer service.
some of those lithium companies chargers are not great.
No, they're not.
no.
I will.
I've got a picture on my phone of one that was made of plastic and it was melted.
I believe it. I'll stick
A
with my.
lot of them
So-
are made of plastic.
I
So
have.
that's kind of scary. You know what I'm saying?
I heard a lot of the like the Amazon batteries
Yeah.
are actually made in the same factory. They just slap a different sticker on them and send them out the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We have,
crazy. It's crazy.
We take pride in our battery design and our setup. We have by far the most research in our batteries. I mean, we're always doing something, researching this, researching that. So,
Do you have like
you know,
a?
how can we make something better? You know?
So do you have
So-
like a standalone, like live scope battery, like some of these,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like a
We
little,
have one
like
from
the
15.
package type deals that they have. Or is it like the smaller battery?
We have from like 15 amp hours to, I mean, we have a 12 volt that's 560 amp hours.
Holy
You
smokes.
know,
560 amp hours?
I'll run my electronics for the next year.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
So we have from little teeny batteries all the way up, you know? So, I mean, we have so many batteries, you know? Everybody calls me and says, Sean, you got a discount? You got a discount? You know, everybody loves to ask me if I've got a discount. So
Right.
what I tell everybody is is, you know what? On our website, if you sign up on an email, right? There's a discount.
You get
There's a code. It pops right up.
10% off or
10%. Yeah,
there you go.
There's a 10% off code.
Hey, what's up, John?
You know.
We got John from.
That's all. I mean, that's. I don't mind paying for like you said, like you have a quality product backed with good customer service, and like I don't mind paying the money, for that. Like I don't need a discount for that because of the peace of mind of knowing my boat is going to perform when I'm traveling. Right. You know, if I'm in New York fishing a tournament, like just having that peace of mind that I know that my equipment is going to work is worth pretty much any amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. What would you do if you had a battery issue and you were clear over in New York somewhere doing a tournament? What would you do?
Buy 3 12 volts. Buy 3 12
you know
volts.
Go to Walmart.
Actually, Walmart or AutoZone.
You know what our customers do? They pick up the phone and they call the warehouse and they talk to us, and we send them batteries to their hotel overnight so they can fish their tournament.
That would be, and that is amazing.
That's
that is awesome.
Yeah, that's insane.
We take care of ours.
Yeah, that's
far the best company for customer service you've ever seen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We do whatever it takes to make our customers happy and to do what we have to do.
Oh wait, I forgot. I have a Quest now, so if I had a battery issue, I would just wire it into 24 volt and just keep going.
Right. Yeah. So let me ask you this, and this is not really a question, but there's and the gentleman who's watching our show, Mr. John, he is the owner of a business up in Rhode Island called JCS Marine Restoration, and they do some of the most incredible bass boat builds you've ever seen. A lot of older boats that it's just a lot of guys can't justify that $100K price tag. So John and his crew, they flip them like my bullet. They make it amazing.
Have you seen the wrap yet?
I haven't. We're getting there. We're almost there.
Oh my
They
God.
did a 96 Champion 202.
You've probably seen
that.
It.
Would just knock your socks off. It looks brand new.
I would rub my schmink on it.
You've probably seen it. But my question is,
24 volt on it too.
have you guys reached out to any boat manufacturers or anything like that to say like, hey, we want to be a package deal with, we want to be the standard battery?
Or do you do that already?
I've talked to several boat manufacturers. So far, none have taken us up on it. We've had our customers call them and say, we're not buying unless you've got that available, for dealers actually. We've had all kinds of people reaching out, but no manufacturers. They say they can't have the lithiums in their buildings.
Interesting. I know Skeeter is doing factory lithiums in the FXRs now. I'm not sure what brand they're using.
Trolling motor.
Yeah, for the trolling motor. Yeah.
And
then they still put that terrible interstate for the cranking battery.
By the way, there's 2 companies that are getting out of the marine side.
Which 2? Or can you not say? Can you tell us offline?
Maybe offline. I'll send Chad a message later.
Send Chad a message just in case it happens to be the one that's in my boat. Right. I don't think it's going to be because they sell a lot of batteries.
I'm not pointing any elbows.
Right.
I think I'm good. They sell a lot of marine batteries. I couldn't imagine them getting out of the marine business, but you never know, right?
I'm just saying, new owners do strange things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they do.
So what do you think is the future for lithium batteries? I mean, like it's hard to think about it because the stuff that we have now wasn't even conceptualized 2 years ago, it seems.
Right.
It's unfortunate, not to cut you off, Sean, but it's unfortunate because lithium batteries is the future, in my opinion. But it really seems as though the recycling process of lithium batteries is not good.
Yeah.
So
that's an
I gotta
interesting
say
point,
that's one of
actually.
the very negative points of the lithium batteries.
Here's something else. This'll make you smile a little bit, Chad. When we get a battery back that's bad, right? It could be somebody else's battery, it could be whatever, right? We get the battery back. We have to pay to have it recycled.
Really?
We have a recycling bin that we put our batteries in, and we have to ship them out. How many other manufacturers are out there that are actually doing the same thing?
Who knows? Right?
I have no idea. Probably not.
I thought you were
just
just
throwing
supposed to
Amazon
throw your car
buildings
batteries in
somewhere.
the ocean.
Right. Think about it. I mean, just throwing them, behind a building somewhere and letting them, sit there until they're thrown in a dumpster somewhere and put in a landfill.
Right.
Yeah, I do know.
At some point, there needs to be something done, and we happen to be proactive.
For sure. I know
You know what I'm saying?
That is one of the things
And if that means we have to pay for it to make sure that it don't end up in our landfills where it hurts our children, hurts our children's children, whatever, that's what we do.
Or hurts the lake and there's no fish left.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So you can buy from those guys, or you can buy from the company that's doing things the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works.
One of the issues with lithium versus as far as like an environmental impact from comparing a lead acid battery to a lithium battery is the amount of recyclable material in a lead acid battery is 70 to 78%, something like that, where in a lithium battery is very low, in around 5 to 10% of usable material that you can get from it. So just speaking totally from an environmental standpoint, like that's like one of the bad things about lithiums, but
But you
on
got
the
to
other
do the
hand,
math. Is it if it lasts 10 years longer, then it's
Right.
like what's
Yeah,
the,
right.
well, you figure, if you get 3 years out of a lead acid battery,
That's a
like,
good battery, right.
I'm getting 3 to 4 lead acid batteries.
If I was going to say the
Yeah, that makes
future,
sense.
I think it's solid state.
Ooh.
I think it's sodium, possibly. I think it's moving that direction.
So you're thinking that, sometime in the near future, we may see like another progression into, or another technology jump in the battery world?
I think first things first, they're going to come down in size. I think you're going to start seeing the 36s, like the 36-volt batteries and that in group 24s,
Okay.
I think that's the progression. Like they're going to become smaller and smaller and smaller. And then they're going to, because people are going to, start doing their batteries in packs and doing all kinds of different things. And then they're going to make supercells, and it's going to just keep going.
Right. And of course you got to, it's in the end, it's retail. So you've got, once you saturate the market, you got to come up with something new to get people to buy it. Right.
Yep. We're always innovating. We're always looking for the next greatest thing. I'm blessed. I've got a big team of guys that can test products for us and give us feedback. And that's real important to, a base, to be successful. I wouldn't want you to buy something that I haven't had tested. You know what I mean?
Right. So let me ask you this question, and this is
we're not out for the buck, if that makes any sense to you.
Right.
Now
let me ask you this question, and this is kind of a tough question, but Paul, Chad, and I, we're all around fishermen all the time, and we all sit here and we talk about this battery and lithiums, and like just in my club, 3 or 4 of the guys we're talking about lithium batteries almost every day. And one of the biggest questions that you see come up all the time is it's about price point. It's like, well, do I just take the risk with the cheapo battery, or do I spend the money with a different company? And I guess what would your answer for that be? Because there is a price difference, but from your perspective, what is that?
I would tell you this: pick up the phone, call your companies that you are actually thinking about purchasing from.
Sean, I'm calling
Call
you.
them and ask their questions. That's fine. Call and ask the questions that are on your mind. You know what I'm saying? If you call them and you get the for English, press 1, or you get the for sales, press 1, for customer service, push 9, that should tell you something.
Right.
Right. Like customer service isn't quite as important as selling a battery. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to us, it's when you purchase something from us, we want you to be able to look at your friends, look at everybody, and say, we bought our battery one time, and it's the best decision I've ever made.
Are you? We're going to be moving on here to our next segment, Sean, and I got another question for you, and we'll see if anybody else has one more here. But obviously, another thing that people are going to look real closely at.
I know
that
you
we
want
didn't
a
talk
discount.
to. No, I don't want to. I'm not going to ask about a discount.
How do I get on that pro staff?
Right.
Yeah, how do I get on that pro station? We'll talk about that after the show.
You are Jacob Wheeler's, idol. I mean, he probably looks up to you.
Of course.
We do.
I taught Jacob Wheeler everything he knows.
Yeah, Jacob Wheeler loves our podcast. He absolutely loves it.
We can tell. Hashtag Jacob Wheeler.
Right. But are Millertech batteries, are you guys competitively priced with all the other battery companies? Do you guys...
We're not the cheapest, okay? But we're not the most expensive either, okay? And the reason why is because, number one, our customer service, and number two, we've put that into our batteries. Just the UL listing is outrageous. I mean, the cost of having that test done is astronomical. So we're in the middle, there is more expensive than us. But what you're gaining, with customer service and everything is pretty amazing.
I think that's important though, honestly, in battery choice. Batteries, in my opinion, really is kind of you get what you pay for type deals.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I look at it this way. If you buy a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 boat, what's a couple extra $100 for a quality battery?
Why the f you gonna put Walmart batteries in that? Like
I'm gonna put an Amazon lithium battery into my $90,000 Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I have a buddy who just spent $140,000 on an Icon, whatever it is,
Shoo!
and
It's crazy.
That's a badass boat, though.
It's two of my skeeters.
That's so sick. Your skeeters.
He runs two of our 36s and two of our cranking batteries, all with the power pole charge, right? And he calls me up and he's like, Sean, something's wrong with my batteries. I said, what do you mean? He goes, dude, I've never charged them. Oh my God. Why do they last so long? I'm like, I told you so. Enjoy it, dude. Enjoy it.
Millertech batteries, baby. I'm going to be looking into it here soon because there's definitely got to be some upgrades coming into the John boat for sure.
Yeah.
If you want, or any of your customers, want some, they can visit our website, millertechenergy.com, and sign up, get an email, sign up with your email address, and you get a discount.
It was millertechenergy.com.
Yep. And there's a discount code there. You guys will get it, and they can look at our batteries and make that decision.
Well,
awesome.
On a side note, we have the best headlamps in the world.
Now we're talking.
Okay, hold up. We're talking now because my Milwaukee one, and I swear by Milwaukee, I really do, but they freaking die, brother.
Dude, you don't have to lie.
I got to put new batteries in it every week.
We all know you use Ryobi tools. It's okay.
Don't put that on the internet.
Yes!
Don't do that to me.
So our headlamps are not only rechargeable, right? But,
Shut up.
dude. We've got them up to like 2,200 lumens or
Holy
something like
smokes.
that.
Good
Like
Lord.
that blinds you, man.
Mine's like,
like
my headlamp's like 120. And that's
You're
bright
like-
enough.
I would do HVAC, and that would blind me off the ductwork.
I mean, it is pretty amazing. We have them for just about every budget, but they're all rechargeable. They're all done the right way. I mean, they have a great warranty with them as well,
I could use a new
and
headlamp.
they are unbelievable.
You know what?
So for them early morning guys, look at the Millertech
right?
headlamps.
Yeah. Definitely
I
a
mean,
good thing
those-
to have as well.
Looking at those right now.
I use one when I go night fishing. I use one when I do go night
Show 'em the
fishing,
website,
and it's
Paul.
pretty amazing.
We're looking at that right now.
We're on Millertech.
I did.
It's-
It's a headlamp. LED headlamp.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like I always get like the
Looks like some cave mining shit.
$50.
like my mom would get me
Yeah.
the pack of 3 headlamps for like a stocking
Yeah,
stuffer
yeah.
for Christmas, and you might get like
I'm
one
telling
use
you,
out of
dude,
each one.
My dad still has like 20 of them.
These aren't even. They're reasonably priced. I mean,
What
it's $50.
Yeah.
I paid more for that on my piece of crap that runs out of batteries. It's got 3 AAA batteries gone in a week.
Your Ryobi one.
No, it's Milwaukee, but I'm upset
telling
with
you.
Milwaukee for creating this product because it does not back the Milwaukee name.
I'm telling you, you guys need to look into them too. They're amazing.
There you go. 2200 lumen. The 2200 lumen one that he's talking about. $60.
Oh, that's not bad.
Shit, I'd order that right now. Headwaters Jim Fallon, our buddy Jim Fallon says I'd buy batteries from this fella. He seems straight and cool, and Jim's definitely might be looking to get into the lithium market. So,
Jim's one of the biggest guides down in Florida on Headwaters Lake. So,
dude, Jim's down in Florida. Yeah, like you said, down in Florida, catching 10-pounders every week. It's insane. Glide baits,
Milwaukee. That's funny.
Milwaukee.
Something happened. You guys kind of disappeared.
oh, are we back? You see us now?
I'd see you.
Okay, good.
Okay. Did you hear us?
I can hear you.
So one of our buddies down in Florida, he's one of the biggest and most successful guides down on Headwaters Lake. Said he'd buy batteries from you any day. You're a cool and straight guy, and so hopefully he gives you a call. And if everything works out, I'm sure that's a really good person to have because he would be the first
Yeah.
one to say, "Hey, look at these badass batteries I have in my boat."
Well, Jim's out fishing every single day too. He definitely puts his equipment to the test, and he catches some big bass.
Oh yeah, 10-pounders all the time.
Pass out my phone number to anybody that's looking. We're
Okay.
always
Will
looking
do.
for new dealers, and I'll be happy to answer any of their questions.
Sean, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining.
You have a
we
great
need to do
evening,
this
sir.
again sometime.
Absolutely,
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right.
Have a great night.
All right.
Yep, have a great
I'll
one.
see you guys.
See ya.
Thanks
Bye
again,
now.
brother.
Bye.
Yeah, that was cool.
Wow, that was awesome. Super thankful that Sean took the time out of his day
Absolutely.
to come on here to Bass and Beer Radio and talk to us about lithium batteries. And it's not something that's talked about all the time because it's not like something that's changing the face of the game like LiveScope or anything like that. But it's new technology that's coming in that people still have questions about, and it is still ever evolving. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one thing that we didn't talk about with batteries that I just kind of want to explain real quick. Sean mentioned it that all the specs are listed on on the website, so you can find all the information you need. So knowing how to calculate like what you're doing, I know not a lot of people know how to do that. So basically, you want to take everything on your system, find the max amp draw for that system, because you always want to go worst case scenario,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So add everything together, what the max amp draw is, and let's say it's 10. So if you're pulling 10 amps and you have a 100 amp hour battery, 100 divided by 10, 10 hours. You'll get 10 hours of runtime pulling 10 amps.
This is the general rule of thumb.
Yeah, because not everything that's like your lowest amount of time you're going to get with that stuff.
Yes.
Because not everything's going to be pulling max amps all the time.
This is why I recommend oversizing your trolling motor.
I was talking about for electronics, not for trolling motors.
Oh, okay,
like
gotcha.
if you
yes,
pull,
yeah, right.
For
if
your
it's
trolling
pulling
motor,
a constant, say the battery, like the black box is 2.8 amps, as we talked earlier. 2.8 amps.
2.8 is the graph, the graph and the black box.
Yeah,
with the
so
LBS
divide that by 100 amp hours. That's how much time you're going to get without ever charging the thing.
40 hours or whatever.
Freaking days.
Almost 2 full days. But yeah, like
almost
trolling, like you said, trolling
fishing for 20 hours though.
No, like I meant 2 full days, like 2 full days, like 48 hours, 2 days.
Yeah.
But
that's
no, like you said,
4 days of fishing though.
Trolling motor is a little bit different because a lot of factors come in there. You know how, like we talked about before, style of fishing, size of your boat, weight of your boat. There's a lot of factors that go into that. So that's a whole nother story. But you can always it doesn't hurt to get if you think the 50 amp hour battery is not going to be enough, it's not going to hurt anything to get the 100 amp hour, except your wallet.
Yes.
Like and share, boys. Like and share. We really appreciate everybody that's watching the show. Sean, thank you very much for joining, brother. And feel free to watch. Put your input in because we're about to break into a little bit of the summer bass fishing to fall bass fishing transition. Granted, you're up north, and we are down here in Maryland, which we're about, fair to Midland. We're not south, but we're not north. We're right at that Mason-Dixon line.
Definitely not south.
We're still in dead summer, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
I'm ready for fall.
The evenings,
so ready for fall.
However, the evenings are getting cooler, though. You can't say the evenings aren't getting cooler.
I don't know. It's pretty hot out this evening.
It was
Maybe
hot
today,
yesterday.
But there's been evenings like, dude, I think last week I woke up, it was like 52 degrees out or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had when that cold front blew through.
Yeah, that was nice, though.
Then it went right back to 90.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're through that, though. I do. We're going into September. I think we're on the downside. Keeping it positive.
Eventually.
Fall transition is on the way. And you know what fall transition means for me, boys?
Glide baits.
Glide baits! Glide baits, yes.
Do you know what I don't throw in the fall transition?
A glide bait.
You know what you don't ever throw? Glide baits.
That's not true. It's always in the boat. I pull it out every now and then when I feel like the conditions are appropriate.
Right. But I pull it out every time, whether it's appropriate or not.
Dan says it was 105 in South Carolina.
That's my question there.
I will say right now that,
and I know the answer.
This is just that typical end of summer nonsense though. That it seems like no matter where you go to fish, the fish are completely on a bait pattern. Like 1,000%.
Why do I not? Why can I not figure these patterns out though?
I kind of smoked them last night.
Not even.
Oh, I caught a couple on a jig.
I thought about that as I was pulling out to go run my service call. I was like, I bet you they were eating pretty good because that freak is like pre-storm front almost.
They were for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was,
Did you catch the big one or Candace?
I caught all of them. But she caught 2 out of our 3 last week. So.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool to see you guys go out there and slam together. I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. She asked me tonight, as I was getting ready to leave. She's like, "So, do you think before the tournament start next year, you can show me how to really fish?" I was like, "If you really want to learn, we can do that."
Did she throw a spinning rod or she has a bait caster?
Spinning rod.
She's got to get her a bait caster then.
I can't teach somebody this. I don't think I can teach her. First,
it's just time.
We have some casting things to work on. So we got to work on some casting things.
Yeah, but casting a spinning rod and a bait caster is totally different. It's more of the physics of a casting, like letting the rod do the work.
Does her bait go like 500 feet?
Out of your cast,
So she doesn't. She has a problem loading the rod up to cast, and it just kind of gives it that swing.
and then the bait goes
loading.
wide
That's what
left.
we've been working on with Phoebe
No,
too.
so it's a spinning rod. It goes dead straight every time.
It's kind of like my golf. It's kind of like my golf shot.
To the right every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every time. Every single time.
It's like my pee stream in the morning.
Yeah. Well, that's just a fan everywhere.
Yeah. Mine goes in a fork.
Like shit. Fuck.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I remember this time last year, and only reason I say that is I have not been fishing this year, mainly because I've been away for most of the month. But like, it seemed like this time last year, everything was on a bait pattern, and because we were fishing that grass flat over in the Bird River mouth area.
Oh, that grass flat died out long before this time of year last year.
I remember catching some fish in there in August, like mid-August.
Yeah, but they were dinks.
Well, yeah, but like even so, like the frog bite had almost shut down completely, and you could see schools of bait in the grass, and the fish were busting on them, and they were hard to catch because they were so locked on the bait. And it's like, damn, how do you mimic the bait to get a bite? And it was very, very difficult. And it's actually what I was talking to Clint and Martin about yesterday.
They were having the same issue.
Where's Martin?
Where they were fishing. They've been
Yes.
for a while.
Yep, because they were saying the same thing. It's like you know there's fish there, but how do you?
I
get
noticed
them?
the same. Well,
All right, I'll tag Team Marine. Why not?
a couple weeks ago, I was up on the Upper Bay, and it was the same deal. The bait was this big, and they were just busting all over the place.
Right.
It was right after that tropical storm moved through. So like we found like one clear spot of grass that was out of the current, and it was just stacked.
Right.
Like every fish in the bay like moved into this like 50-yard grass patch. Like all the bait was in there.
There's Martin.
All the bass were in there. So, but they were doing the same thing. It was that small bait, and like it was really tough to get them to eat. Like when I first pulled up, I caught one on a frog, good one, like 3.5 pounder. And then after that, it was just really tough to get them to eat.
Right.
Because they were just so keyed in on that 1.5-inch long bait. I mean, the bait was like this big at the biggest.
And it's hard because it's like, what is it that I have in my arsenal that matches that? Really not a whole lot of options. I mean, there are, but not something we necessarily carry every day.
I mean, there's really not. Like, what am I gonna throw in the grass?
Right.
That I can match
exactly. Like you maybe up on Conowingo or
Like,
something, you get
Conowingo,
a small flatworm or something.
I'll throw a crappie jig at him on Conowingo. Like, I can't throw that in the I can't throw that in the grass.
Right.
So it makes it difficult. I mean, even your Tom Over black and blue jig looks just like a 1-inch shad. What you mean?
Don't you be putting that information out there.
How'd you know what I was fishing last?
Don't you do that. He's only putting that out there because the Thursday nighters were over.
Tom was looking at my lures last night. And by that I mean
I was looking at Tom's lures last night.
and by that I mean they were standing around my boat and we were drinking beer and I was retying. So
Hey, no,
Dog fight. Michael Vick's
not
here.
happening right now.
So it was. I just picked a spot. I would literally. It was like spinning the wheel, and wherever the wheel landed, that's where I was going to fish. So and it was weird because we literally were idling in, and I threw my jig up there and caught a decent one, and I was like, "Oh shit, it might be on." And then I never got another bite on a jig the rest of the day. It was like the second cast.
every fish I caught last night was on a jig.
That's what I'm saying. Like I know they're eating a jig right now. I just
No, I'm sorry.
put the brush hog on, and then they started eating that. And I was like, "What the
I
hell?"
came back into the 6 mile an hour zone and I called out once on a spinner bait.
Did you? That's
in
awesome.
the 6 mile an hour zone.
Nice, nice.
That call is the reason that I won.
That
It
was
was
a
that
good
close.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good call.
Because so what happened last night is the wind completely flipped. It went from blowing from the like northwest to blowing from like the southeast. I mean, it was total opposite. And when that wind flipped, it completely killed the tide. I mean, it went from rolling out to dead still. And after that, like if you didn't, I feel like for me anyway, if you didn't catch your fish in that first hour, I mean, I got 2 bites after that where I was fishing, and I saw both of them, and they were both dings. So what happened was, like...
Did people go back to the pond?
Yeah, JT was back there. I don't know how... I can't remember how he did. Greg went back there, like, later. He went back that way.
Greg hates going back there.
So, because it was so tough, and it really just was... in the area that I caught most of my fish, like, the bite died when that current died. And we just had pounded that area. At 7:30, I was like, well... You know, we're going to, let's run in. We'll fish in the 6 mile an hour zone a little bit. Maybe we'll pick up one. And literally the first tree that I pulled up to, boom, 2 3/4.
Boom.
The first tree that I pulled up to. I fished every tree from down there at the end all the way up to the ramp. Never got another bite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Martin, let me throw this at you. Have you ever considered upsizing? Maybe to an 8-inch glide bait?
You know what?
Because downsizing didn't work.
Apparently, you owe Jim.
We do owe Jim.
shirts.
Yes,
T-shirts.
we owe Jim shirts. Jim, I keep forgetting about it, but we know.
That's
gotta happen.
a Chad problem.
Give me the shirts.
It is.
Give me the shirts. I'll handle
It's
it.
a my brain problem.
Give me the. You have the shirts here?
They're in the truck.
I'll give them to me.
I keep them in the truck because I keep on running into people, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
Give me 2 of his shirts, and I'll send them this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Tony's job is making sure things get where they need to be.
Pretty much. That's my whole job. Like in the Army too, it's the same thing.
That's what I meant.
It's like, yeah, no.
Your job in the Army is to make sure things get where they need to be.
My job is to ask questions. My job is to be like, hey, we're supposed to do this. Are we ready?
You know what I'm
Yes.
pumped for?
Okay, great. No. Well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, get ready.
I'm just saying, you want to know what I'm really pumped for? Because it's going to happen.
Conowingo in the fall?
No.
Oh, well, I'm
Jim
pumped for
Fallon's
that.
definitely going to post a 10 or 11 pounder with a Bass and Beer radio show.
Oh yeah, that'll be
That
awesome.
is
Okay, wait a
definitely
minute.
happening.
So, since we're talking about Jim Fallon in Florida, do we
When are
want
we
to do
doing it? Yes,
okay.
yes.
When? We have to start thinking about that now.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're
Jim,
realistically,
Jim,
we're like,
when are we coming? Jim, you tell us when to come down in the springtime. When are we throwing glide baits and consistently catching 10 pounders every day? Let me know.
Screw a glide bait. Tell me when I can catch 10 pounders off a bed.
December, January.
Did you say glide bait?
No, I don't want to glide. I said fuck a glide bait.
The problem
I
with-
thought you said live bait. I was
No.
like, I'm not going down there and throwing a shiner.
Yeah.
The problem with going down there anytime before February is the cold fronts can completely shut them down.
Yeah.
Like, completely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
but
it's a little risky, but it's like, it's still fishing in Florida.
I'm still down to do it. I'm down to do it.
I mean,
I would like
Martin
to
will
go.
tell you that they went 2 years ago when they got down there.
Are
The
you
first
down?
morning there was frost in Florida.
Probably not.
Bass and Beer radio trip.
I've got 2 other trips planned next year, so.
St. Lawrence?
Well, I should what?
Just kidding.
St. Lawrence?
Yeah. I think I'm doing Murray and the Chowan River. And
Oh, the Challenge. Yeah, that'll be fun.
3 actually, because I'm going to Lake Fork too.
Okay.
I think,
Well, for TBF?
no, I think me and Ron are going to go down for the Skeeter Owners tournament.
Oh, that's cool.
December for beds.
That's cool.
December. That is
Yes.
very soon.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're going to go,
No
we got to
live
start
bait
thinking
fishing.
about it.
We don't live bait fish. Live
March,
bait
April,
fish.
May.
Yeah, we don't
I'm
like
trying
it.
to remember when I went. I think it was like the first week of March.
I'm just trying to get bid on big glide baits. That's what I want to get bid on. I want to go down to Florida. That's what I want to do.
I don't know. I don't need to get bid on anything in particular. I just need to catch fish.
I meant that we're definitely going to post that on Bass and Beer Radio later.
Oh look, he said Mike Buca's got an Airbnb right next to him.
Yeah, we need to post that on Bass and Beer Radio and get with Mike, get that Airbnb going on.
Yeah. I mean, I could be convinced to go, depending on the time of year. But I'm going to Anna. I'm going to Anna in January. That doesn't get canceled.
It's not as bad as a Florida trip though. It's only a couple hours away. Florida's that's like a
Well, no, I mean,
vacation trip,
it's
like-
more cost because I'm going to Texas. Yeah, like Lake Anna. That cost that's not a ton. Then I'm
You
going
should
to Texas.
you should sell feet pictures.
Nobody wants to see my hairy hobbit feet.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do. I don't.
There's probably a bunch of guys that love it.
If they want to pay me for feet pics, I'm down. I have 0 morals, so yeah. But so going to Murray, I'm definitely going to I'm definitely going to Murray. I'm definitely going to the Chowan River. Chowan River, actually, I have a buddy. One of my good friends just moved down there. So he's like 30 minutes away from the Chowan River, and a couple other rivers down there. The same stuff that Kevin was fishing earlier this year.
Okay. Yeah.
My buddy moved like right next to that river that Kevin sent us the picture from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I heard the MLF kind of put that place on the map a little bit. But it's Albemarle Sound, right? Is the overall area?
It's like a Hatteras area.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's part of Hatteras.
You won't stop.
But isn't it's tidal, but it's not really tidal?
It's tidal farther down, like
Okay.
like down toward the mouth, but.
But I heard the tide swings like only a couple inches, and it's like not really tidal for the most part.
Kevin said it's wind. It's more the tide's more wind driven than anything. So like, I don't know. Let me see here.
I think it would be an absolute blast. It would be freaking awesome.
wanna-
I'm down for it.
I want to fish.
I'll make the trip.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
I want
I'll
to
do it.
fish Three Forks or Triple Forks Reservoir.
We'll pull the freaking bullet down there.
That's what it'll be ready. So, Jim, I know I've asked you this before, but like, would you be able to safely navigate us through Triple Forks Reservoir or Three Forks Reservoir? Because that's where like the giant.
And can you do it at 90 miles per hour?
No.
Just idle it.
There he
Yeah,
is.
you could.
What the hell is going on, Andy?
What's up, Andy?
Andy is here. Andy, you missed it, friend. We were just talking about lithium batteries and all that stuff. By the way, we resent you a shirt. Hopefully you got it. It's probably been a week and a half, so you should have gotten it by now. Hopefully you did. If not, I guess we'll send you a third one. But
I want Andy Hauser to have a
You
shirt.
should have gotten it.
I hope he got his shirt this time.
But Andy, what's new, brother? Fill us in. How's everything going?
Oh, and by the way, I sent Jordan the tracking number so you guys can track it and see when it got delivered and all that good stuff too. So
Yeah, you can
What was
see
it?
you can see where USP.
Yeah!
He got it.
Ah, let's go.
That's awesome.
Come on.
Cool.
What was his video on?
Oh, it was the West Logan accident. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool. Explaining
when
like how he like diagnosed the picture.
I didn't get
You
a
know, to see
chance
what
to
happened.
watch that video because I was in Germany, but like, so give me the breakdown. What happened? Because I watched the actual video of West Logan, and I'm like, I don't understand.
He hit a floating. So
he
they
did
had
hit
they had-
something.
they had
He
those
did hit
storms.
something.
They
Okay.
think he hit a floating
It
pier
wasn't
that
a
got blown
boat.
out.
Yeah.
So he hit something. Okay.
That's what that's what they think when they said when they went out to recover it, they found some like debris from like 2x4 debris like from a dock.
Okay.
Is what they said. But yeah, he hit it and it ripped the motor off the back of it, and then when
So
it
the
came
motor
back
was
down, it just,
the motor was gone. The motor was,
No, it was still hanging there.
but it was off the trans.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Wow. Damn, that's crazy.
And if you
Well,
watch
did he
it-
have the leash?
Yes, he did.
Did that basically save his ass?
Yep.
Wow. That's
Dude.
crazy.
He,
That's pretty sobering.
Watch Andy's video.
It is.
Andy does a really good like breakdown on like he points out like exactly where it broke and how that was kind of odd and how effective the leash was and what it would have done, you know, had he not had it on there. It's a good video.
That's pretty sobering to think that like you can just be running and your motor will and be in your lap at some
man.
point.
I mean,
Like,
and especially for somebody like that is out there on the water every single day. That's what they do. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody is complacent, but we all kind of get a little bit comfortable when you do it every single day.
like watching the actual video from West Logan, it was like he was running and then it like me and I haven't like really sat down and watched the video, but I've seen it in like reels and TikTok and shit like
Yeah.
that, and it's like I can't tell where the impact hit. All I can tell is blowout, it got squirrely, and now he's got
I
cracked
mean,
ribs.
you see the boat nose, and then you know it. That's obviously when it hit. Is when it knows.
It yeah, and then like it just I don't know, man. It just didn't look like I expected a more violent, jarring impact. Like, oh, okay, that's where he hit it. Like, I didn't really see that, but I haven't really sat there and scrutinized the video. But it's like when I don't know, man. Like I've hit plenty of shit in my boat, And like when you hit something, you know it. It's like boom. Oh,
Watch
God.
Andy's video.
Like you jolt. But like when I watch the Wes Logan video, it's like it seems like a very subtle.
It's not gonna
hit.
It's not gonna jolt if it rips the motor off the back.
You would think it would jolt more. Like you just took half
No,
your
because
boat
you're
off.
gonna. So your boat's gonna keep, if it takes the
Have
motor off,
mercy.
your boat itself's gonna keep moving with momentum.
Oh, of course.
Where
right.
if you hit something and your motor doesn't come off, you're dead stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, granted, yeah, you're still gonna feel it. Yeah, I mean, you're still gonna feel shit. But watch Andy's video. He talks about a lot of.
It's been on my
stuff in there.
it's been on my list. I gotta watch it.
It's a good one. It's not too long. Yeah, it's quick. It's a quick one.
So I reached out to Jim a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, what baits does Mike make that's like a crank down bait? Because I wanted a crank down bait that was like 4 to 6 feet, 4 to 7 or 8 feet, something in that range. And apparently now he's getting a 5-inch gill 4x4 crank down. And that is sounding pretty delicious.
Sounds like Chad's gonna be spending some money.
I will spend lots of money. I really like it.
And then he's gonna complain that I'm sure he'll complain about something.
I'll be upset that I didn't win a tournament on my glide bait. Yes.
You want to talk about spending some money? So I finally was like, I had to like screw it. I'm just gonna buy it and see what happens.
There you go, Sean.
Yeah, there it is.
They use the swim baits up there.
Sean, we will definitely get in contact with you again. Would love to have you come back on. Maybe talk a little bit more battery talk and come back on, talk about some smallmouth up north. Would love to have you talk about that.
yeah.
That'd be
Me and
great.
Tony are diehard smallmouth fishermen.
Yes, I yeah. If it's
Take-
brown, it's
take
down.
Tony and Paul to Browntown.
Is that like Pound Town?
Kind of. It's more fun, probably.
Depends. Depends.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, damn it, I had something. in
Ooh,
my
I
head
definitely
and
want to
forgot
see it. Send me a pic for sure, Jim.
I had something in my head and I forgot it.
Do me a
hate to
favor,
see it.
everybody. If you're watching, click the like and the share button, please. I really appreciate it. Helps us get more people in here and just boosts our interaction with the public.
What's your middle name? Pound Town?
So Andy says, what and when are big boat shows in your guys' area? We're going to tour this off season, booth merch and all boats and okay. So Baltimore Boat
the
Show.
Timonium Boat Show?
Baltimore Boat Show. I can't remember what the Timonium was. Baltimore Boat Show is the biggest one in the area. That is, mainly geared toward like the pleasure boats. They did get some bass boats in there this year.
Did they? Okay, that's
they had
cool.
some Express in there.
Hold up. I'm just saying I did not forget that we still have plans to invade ICAST together, Andy.
Yes. Oh, I've been working that.
I
angle.
did not
I'm
forget
still
about
working on
that. We did not drink enough Blue Moons that night to forget about it. We are going to ICAST and we are going to invade. Let's go.
We have a fishing podcast. We're part of the fishing industry.
That's what I'm saying. Let's do it.
So
see if we can't get
just
in
for everyone's
He's still
situational
on board.
awareness.
I love it.
The cost to get a booth in ICAST is outrageous.
we don't need
Yes.
a booth.
The cost to get
No.
entry with the help of a couple
I'll be
friends.
the billboard. I'll
is
wear one of those
very
things
doable.
over my shoulders, and we can just write
I
stuff.
don't need.
on
I
me.
don't need a booth. We're a podcast. We're going down there to see what's new, so we have stuff to talk about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. We'll be
And by
doing
that I mean we're gonna go
Sean
down there
will be
and
down there.
roll.
Look, what? Sean down there. Jim Fallon will probably be down there. Andy will be down there. We got the ends already. to
John
get into
with
ICAST.
JCS
John
will be there.
down
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, we already in.
Oh, just get me a JCS Marine shirt. And
Actually, that's a
Yeah.
good
Walk right
question,
in.
Let's go.
John. If you're still on, help out our buddy Andy. What are some big boat shows in your area? I know JCS
Yeah.
Marine. I know you
Yeah.
guys are going to a bunch of shows. So put in the comments and maybe we can work something out. But yeah, the Baltimore Boat Show in this area is pretty much the biggest one. And I'm pretty excited to hear that they finally got some bass boats in there.
I'll
So that's pretty
definitely
cool.
travel to hang out though and make some content.
Oh, dude!
Travel.
When I went to ICAST in 2018,
You went to ICAST? Oh yeah, you went
you
with.
did.
it was either 18 or 19. Man, it was awesome. It was very, very cool.
Would you
Yep.
go with Ardent?
Yeah.
No, I went with
what?
Outdoor Technologies jerseys. They used
There
to
you
make
go.
the jerseys
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
bunch
yep.
of college teams, and yeah, it was a very, very cool experience, man. Lots of fun. But yeah, so Andy, talk to Sean with Millertech batteries because I know
It's kind of
that's
up in the same area. He probably knows about the ones in Detroit.
well, yeah,
It's not
maybe.
too far away.
But yeah, I was gonna say
Maybe
that's
it's just
right
over
in your
Wisconsin.
area out there in Michigan. So that would be cool. But yeah, Baltimore Boat Show is pretty big.
What's the one in Timonium?
It's like it's a boat and RV show though, isn't it? It's like it's not super.
There's a lot of boats in there.
Duh, Andy, Great American Outdoor Show. That's the one you need to go to.
Oh yeah, yep.
That's the one.
They don't have a lot of boating stuff there though.
Yeah, but
I mean a little bit.
They had a decent amount. So
one little wing.
Great American Outdoor Show. It's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's like 3 or 4 days. It is absolutely the largest outdoor show you've ever been to.
Jim, I'm 100% sure that Chinese forward-facing sonar is probably the same quality of anything that you buy from Temu.
There's a Chinese forward-facing sonar? No, I'm interested. But anyway, so
if they sell it on Temu, Tony will have it next week.
Yeah, right. We'll buy it. Put it on my John Bear.
Oh wait, so you got some Temu FFS?
Yeah, apparently. It's just a little cardboard box, and you have to draw it.
You're
on
right
there.
though. You will own it.
But anyway, so the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg is the one that you should really try to get to, in my opinion. It's like 3 or 4 convention centers that they have. I mean,
it's one big convention center with different buildings.
But yeah, different buildings.
It's a farm show complex.
Huge.
But it's a lot of outdoor stuff. There's a lot of hunting stuff there. It's mostly a hunting show. They have one wing that's all fishing. I think they have a wing with. I think they have a separate wing with boats.
Either way, no matter what, I don't care what show it is, we need to hook up with Andy.
They had a Phoenix had a pretty substantial presence at the outdoor show the last time I was there. I think it was in 2023.
Yeah, the New England Fishing Expo. Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've never been to that one.
I haven't either, but I've definitely heard of it. That would be a good one to go to. Then we could all link up too.
The biggest one in Maryland is probably the Baltimore Boat Show.
Yeah.
In Maryland, yeah.
As far as like boat sales type shows, anyway.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Great How many people usually go to the Great American Outdoor Show a year? It's over 1 million, is it not?
It's a lot. Are the numbers down from previous years?
I don't know. I haven't went since before COVID.
I went in 22, I think.
I think it was 2019.
And I spent pretty much my whole life savings on shit that I used like in the week after I got home from the Great
I bought
American
caribou and like elk jerky and shit because it just sounded.
It was probably delicious.
I got to meet. I got to meet Roland Martin
at the outdoor show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a picture. I have a picture of me and him on my wall in my office.
I'm pretty sure Trump was at the outdoor show this year. It sucked because I went the day after. I found out when I was there. I was like, damn it, he was here yesterday. But yeah, the outdoor show's huge.
So Andy, the other one in our area that's pretty big is the Chesapeake Bay Boat Show.
I forgot about that.
That's the one at Timonium.
I forgot about that one. Yep, that's a big one too. I'm looking up how many people are going to the outdoor show. Jim doesn't like Roland.
We've heard some things, but
you know what? He was nice to me.
I've met him before, and he was very nice to me too. So, but I have heard.
I guess you better not sit down anywhere near his freaking shiner spots.
All right, let's see how many people go to the Great American Outdoor Show.
Let's check it out.
I'm pretty sure it was.
That's really cool. Jimmy Houston.
On one of those giant.
We should message Jimmy Houston and be like, Jimmy.
I've been trying to get.
Jimmy.
Speaking of giant Rapala wars, I've been trying to get Martin to come off one of those DT6s, and he will not.
All right, so
one of the giant ones.
He has a giant Rapala DT.
Yeah,
and I've wanted one forever.
So the great 200,000 plus attended the Great American Outdoor Show in 2024.
It's a whole family of douches.
Oh, Jim is going for the jugular. Jim is going for. All right, so Martin said Trump was a guest speaker for the NRA at the outdoor show.
See, and I've met Scott before, and like Scott's always been like the 2 times that I met Scott, he was cool. Like I don't know. I've never met them on the water though.
We don't live around them enough. I do hear that they.
Well, we didn't meet them.
I do hear you can frequently find the old man in a bar right near Headwaters, though.
It's also different sometimes meeting somebody on the water versus meeting somebody else. Chris Zaldane seems like a pretty cool dude most of the time too. Still cussed out a local for fishing his spot in the Elite Series.
Was it day 1 or day 2?
I don't remember what it was. I remember the comment that the guy made. He was on the spot when Chris Zaldane got there, and Chris Zaldane flipped out on him, and the guy was like, "Dude, I work all week. This is the only day I have to fish." So it must have been like day 3. So it must have been on like Saturday.
So I guess the question is then and there's no way to answer it.
Not all
we
of
don't
them
know.
are. Not all
But
of
it's
them
like, was he on the spot because he had been fishing that lake forever, or was he on the spot because Chris Zaldane was here day 1 and day 2? So
I'm pretty sure he
catch
was
him.
just out fishing.
Right. I've seen Ike and Ellie do that a couple times too.
So speaking of,
it kind of rubs me the wrong way.
I think it's happened to more people than what actually gets.
It honestly rubs me the wrong way because, like you said, that guy's like, look, bud, I work 6, 7, maybe some people out there work 7 days a week. Like,
yeah, Greg.
I don't care that
cool
you,
dude.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like,
And
I'm gonna
I can
go
say that
fishing.
As many tournaments that I've fished that Greg has been in, like he's never pulled in on me. But everybody has different experiences.
Damn, Jim is spilling some beans.
So
Jim is
to get
spilling
off-
some beans.
Are you friends with Jim on Facebook?
So
I think so.
He does not fucking care.
I know, it's awesome.
I want to get off the negative stuff a little bit and talk about something that happened last week that is kind of important to the bass fishing community. Rick Clunn.
Paul, may I?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So Rick Clunn
Retired.
He didn't retire. He's very specific that he said he didn't retire. He said he retired in 1976 when he quit his real job.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
he fished his last Elite Series tournament last week. 50 years. He fished the Bassmaster, the highest level Bassmaster tournaments for 50 freaking years.
That's badass.
And he had to requalify every year for him too. That's the cool thing.
Yeah,
He earned his way.
And the other thing, Mark Zona retired from from commentating Bass Live.
Save your local duck population, by the way. Rip these things apart.
Did you get the center ones too?
I love ducks and I
No,
like
I didn't.
turtles.
Thank you.
I like turtles a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna, like Jason said, he's gonna fish the opens. He said he's probably gonna fish just as many tournaments as he did when he was on the Elite Series. But he just
So let
it
me
was time to
be
step away.
somewhat pessimistic, or just an asshole, whatever you want to call it. Did he not qualify for next year? Is that why?
he has. It doesn't matter. He has Legends exemptions.
Oh, he does. Okay, fair enough.
Plenty of them.
I don't mean to be I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm just curious.
He's got plenty of Legends exemptions.
So
Only like 5 AOYs and 4 classics.
so far tonight, we've had our new friend Sean come on the show, talk about some lithium batteries, which is pretty cool. And now we sat here and we've just talked about some random stuff. But we wanted to get into that. We're not quite there yet.
I just read Jim's comment.
I know he's spilling the beans, man.
We're not quite there yet, but we're going to talk about that summer to fall transition. And
So the best thing I can tell you for summer,
I mean, honestly, like, it's kind of what's already going on.
So
anyway.
the biggest, we're talking about fish movement. So the most important thing about the fall, or the spring to fall, winter to spring, whatever, is knowing where the fish are, and where the fish are going. And if you know where they summer, where they're holding in the summer, and you know where they're moving to, they're going to be somewhere in between.
Yep.
So the fish are going to be on the move, and you're going to have to constantly stay with them because they're going to continue to move. They're not necessarily going to be in one spot every time you go out in this time of year. So where are they moving to? So stop eating my shoe.
Dumbers.
So if you figure out where they're moving to, and you knew where you've been fishing all summer, so you know where they are potentially. Like, they're just going to be somewhere in between. I mean, it's easier on grass because in that summer to fall transition, you start to get that grass die off. So as the grass dies off, they're just gonna start concentrating into the fresh grass. So the stuff that's still green. you got to look at what dies off first, what dies off last. That's all important because that'll tell you what kind of grass to look for. But that's my biggest thing with that summer to fall transition is just finding where they're moving to. Mm-hmm. And generally, like if you're on a lake, they're going to be they're going to be moving from the main lake back into the creeks. So if you know your main lake spots, start working from that main lake spot toward your creek mouth, and then as it goes on, farther back into the
and
creek.
There you have it. The best thing I will tell you for the summer to fall transition is take a couple weeks off. Get your duck decoys ready to rock and roll because the fall's here and it's time to kill some no fly zone is in action as soon as I get there.
We're gonna stay on this fall thing and we'll talk about this at the end of the show. But I think I'm gonna get my stamps this year.
Just do it, dude.
Let's go.
Do it. Come on.
So,
do it.
Yeah, man, the fall transition. I will agree that it's a lot of the same summer shit, just finding where they move differently and maybe working the bait a little bit differently. Because if anything, from summer to fall, they actually get more active.
That transition period is tough though.
They move a lot
because they're moving more. They're moving more than they're eating. And like I said, like I mentioned earlier, they're not staying in one spot, so it's hard to stay on the fish.
There is particular places where they just don't leave though.
Yeah, if you want to fish ponds.
Yeah, ponds or quarries.
Exactly.
But
ponds, quarries, and
that's always
another
good.
bass
That's always
areas.
It's never a bad bet.
But even in there,
it's never a bad bet.
There's movement within those smaller areas.
Yes, absolutely.
So they're gonna, again, summer. Where do they hold in the summer? Where do they go in the fall? Mm-hmm. They're gonna be somewhere in between.
Yep. Always.
That's where it is. But
it's weird to me because even if you move in or you move out, like if you move out, there isn't the same deep areas unless you move way far out.
You got to start looking at like break lines and it's hard to do. Like
I don't
it's
think
not like
the bait's the same either.
It's not like we have, fishing in that particular area that you're talking about also picks up when the shad start moving back there.
What happened to that?
I don't know. Is there beer all over the ground?
Me too, Jason. Me too. Gotta love hunting season. It gets everybody off the water.
I'm still on the water hunting season.
Yeah,
now I have a firearm, which is scary to everybody.
I'm looking forward to hunting season. I think I'm going to get
you
my
are the
stamps
least.
hunting.
You are of the people that I know. I trust you more with a firearm than probably anyone else.
I'm happy to hear that because I have so much time behind
He's
a
like a
trigger.
fucking Marine or some shit.
No,
He should be.
He's in the Army.
I'm not retarded.
I know.
I'm in the Army.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All his crayons are still in the box.
Correct.
What's your favorite flavored crayon?
I don't know. I have to ask my Marine friends.
Mine's blue.
I don't eat crayons.
The blue tastes like blueberry.
Tastes like poo berry.
These snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
Dude, so I actually put in all my paperwork to hunt APG this year.
Like deer hunt?
Dude,
no,
it's
waterfowl.
It's such a bitch.
I know. Oh, I know.
It's
I just finished all of it.
The thing is,
probably,
too, though, and I'm going to
be
tell you
fair,
right
it's
now,
probably,
if you
it's probably way
don't
less
know
of
the
a bitch
right
for Tony
people,
than it
it's
is for us.
fucking...
Yes, it is.
The issue is if you don't know the correct people to get the correct calls.
Except for that City Connect
and
color.
by the way, every time you go out there, you will be checked by DNR.
Oh, I'm sure. That's fine.
It's not, though. It's not. It sucks.
Well,
it sucks. Yeah. If you're in primetime hunting and DNR is going to walk up to you every time, what's it worth?
Well, I mean, if they literally flare every duck in a 5-mile radius because their boats in my spread.
But they will.
Yeah, I know.
There's more DNR on APG than there is on the freaking entire east coast of Maryland.
Well, and that's why, there is a lot. And that's fine because, like, I feel like here's the deal, right? Like, if you get enough...
I thought APG police did all the stuff inside of
So
APG
it's a weird relationship.
They have the DNR ramp at APG
it's
as well, though.
It's a very weird relationship how that works.
Which ramp?
The one at Spazzuti. It's Spazzuti.
Well, Spasudi Island is out there, but they have it around the corner. I don't know. I can't.
It's
remember
the one.
what
It's right. It's right in front of. It's right by Swan Creek.
And so does
Edgewood. The one right. Yeah.
Yes, and they have another one in Spasudi.
Edgewood
but there's
has
also
another one as well.
But there's also
in Romney Creek. There's one.
Yeah.
Like they're everywhere.
But there's also one in Haverty. There's a DNR boat docked in Tidings. There's a DNR boat by the Legion. There's so to say like there's more on APG than anywhere else. Like
so let's put it this way: I work on APG every single day. And I watch a DNR go up and down the roads and see them at the docks doing their thing every single day.
They probably have.
If you go out and you like, I fished the gunpowder for 8+ years now. I've seen the DNR maybe twice. Maybe.
It's probably they probably have one dude that's just like stationed there, and he has nothing better to do than just drive around APG. It's like I can't go anywhere else, so I'm just gonna drive around and burn gas all day.
You're honestly probably
well. You know the thing is too, they do have people that are uneducated that look at Romney Creek and they're just like, oh, I can go there and catch.
Do you know how many people?
You can't go in there.
Do you know how many people fish Romney Creek? It's insane.
In it?
Oh yeah.
I've never.
That's a good way to lose your boat.
I fish. I work on Aberdeen Proving Grounds every single day. I've never seen anybody at Romney
There's
Creek
been major
before.
tournaments won out of Romney Creek.
I believe
that's
it.
illegal
I believe
shit.
it.
It's so
Of course
illegal.
it is.
I believe it. I completely believe that.
And that's the other thing too. That's why you won. You fished Romney Creek. You're not supposed to be in there. Those fish have never had a hook in their mouth back there. I'm going to tell you right now, the Maryland state record largemouth bass is on Aberdeen Proving Grounds, and it's never had a hook in its mouth. You can't go there to catch it, and nobody can go there to pull fish out to tell you.
But look at here's the thing.
But I'm just speculating. I'm telling you, there's a state
I
record.
believe you.
It's either there or there's one in one of the reservoirs.
Look at the map.
Me too, Martin. Me too.
Look at the map. We got to talk about this offline, by the way. Look at the map of Spasudi and Romney Creek. There are so many, like Spasudi especially. There are so many little creeks, like little spawning creeks.
Yes.
But like
you can't go into them.
As annoying as it is,
you are not supposed to go inland.
No, you can't.
Kevin,
no matter what it is.
As annoying as it is to not be able to fish that shit
from the Chickahominy,
it's honestly a good thing because
it's a refuge.
Exactly, it's a refuge.
It's like a.
Also, you don't want to fish there. I'm gonna tell you why. Go in there on low tide, and all those sticks that you're walking on, they're not sticks. They're not sticks.
They're snakes.
No. They're unexploded ordnance. Chemical. A lot of them are chemical and biological.
Yeah,
mostly chemical.
There is unexploded ordnance. It's not like every time you go step over a log, there's a fucking mortar in there.
Go there when it's a really low tide and you see fins sticking out of the mud. It'll change your opinion. Anywhere.
Anywhere. I'm just saying. I've been working on APG
so
for
you
10
can.
years.
So
I haven't
can
actually seen
so
it.
If
it's within vision, it's been cleaned up by now.
It's not. It's not anywhere that you're going to see them. It's all on the test. It's all on the range out by like Abbey Point.
Okay.
So Romney,
like the super pond.
Here's the law was very weird about
Abbey Creek
using
Abbey Creek has there's one in there.
So for waterfowl, you can
sneak into that one because people can't see you.
So for waterfowl, you can boat in the restricted area.
Those guys don't fuck around.
Go to your spot. No, they don't. But for waterfowl, you can boat in the areas, Spasudi, Romney Creek, whatever. You can actually run your boat in there, go to your spot, anchor, and hunt. You can't fish it, but you can run your boat in there to hunt. There's lots of reasons for that. I know a couple people who hunt APG every year, and they will tell you when the tide gets really, really low, you'll see fins sticking out of the mud. And not just one or two, more than enough.
Yeah, there's one in Abbey Creek.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the middle of Abbey Creek.
You should try to. I don't know. You should try to hook it and pull it into your boat.
I mean, I've just heard. It's not like I've been in there or anything to actually see it.
Right.
That is not what we are talking about, Jim. We are not talking about mud sharks.
No, we're talking about artillery rounds, like 107s and stuff like that. Yeah, there's all kinds of shit in there, and it's. Yeah,
we have we have the East Coast largest military base here in Maryland.
Did I ever tell you
Aberdeen
one of the largest?
Aberdeen, I think Aberdeen is.
Did I ever tell you?
Maybe square footage.
It has the largest runway.
Square footage wise, it's one of the largest, but in terms of it's actually very depopulated.
Did I ever tell you the story about the first time I fished the Bush River?
No.
So
Deep in the bush.
First time that me and my buddy Randy.
Deep in the bush.
First time me and my buddy Randy fished the Bush River. New to fishing the bay, right? So like we're running out. We're like, wow, we're gonna go up to Abbey Point and catch some stripers. Yeah. And we go out and we see this boat sitting out there by a fucking buoy, and we're like, oh, like looks like they're messing with a buoy or something. We just run right by them, and we get out to the mouth, and the other boat cuts us off, and just goes, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, yeah, just coming out to go striper fishing. See that other boat back there? Like, we saw a boat back there. Like, he's like, yeah, when you see that boat, don't go out there. You're lucky you didn't get shot. And we're like, what? So he's like, okay, well, he calls the range master. They shut down the range. He's like, okay, it's clear. You guys can go in. Just stay inside that other boat.
Right. There's a 120 millimeter round that's right past your face.
Hold on.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we get in and we go into Redmond Cove, and we're fishing around like Redmond Cove.
Is it the one right by the bridge?
Just past the bridge.
Okay,
not too far. But
left side going out.
About 3 miles out.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's like right before, like the boat sits here, and then like Redmond Cove, the cove on the left, right before the boat.
Okay.
So we're fishing around in there, and for like maybe like 5 minutes, and I just happened to look back up the river, like out the river, and there's just tracer rounds going across the fucking river. I'm like, boom, 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 oh boom, fuck.
Boom. Yep.
Yeah, it was definitely a butthole puckering experience to realizing like, man, we probably could have died.
It sounds like a crack. It sounds like somebody like lighting a firecracker in midair.
You couldn't hear them because they were firing. They were firing from Edgewood.
Oh.
So like you couldn't hear anything. You just saw them.
Well, if you've ever had live rounds go somewhat close to you, it sounds like a cracking, like a firecracker, like a. It's kind of neat.
You guys haven't been out on a freaking bomb range when one of them goes off.
No.
I can tell you a funny story.
I'm telling you right now, they're detating maybe like 8 pounds.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. 8 pounds will 8 pounds. That's a lot.
No, it's stupid.
I got a funny range story from APG. So, family friend of mine, his son, ex-Navy SEAL, when he got out of the military, started doing weapons contracting for a weapons company. They were on APG doing some testing, and they were testing laser guided mortars. And a herd of deer walked onto the range.
You hate to see it, but you love to see it.
You hate to see it. You hate to see the pieces.
Hate to see them come, but you love to watch them go.
He went, hey, watch this.
Oh, yeah.
And they dropped a mortar into the center of these herd of 10 deer, and there were no more deer.
So it's funny you say that because I've spent so much time at the ranges at Fort Dix, Joint Base McGuire, Lakehurst.
Fort Dix.
Yes. Joint Base McGuire, Lakehurst, Dix, JBMDL.
Dix.
Dix Lakehurst, sorry.
Hurt Dix.
It does not matter what you're firing on the range. You could be just full gung-ho, fully automatic, 7.62, 240 Bravos, M250s, 249 squad automatic weapons. Deer will walk onto the middle of the range at any given time. It does not matter.
Darwinism.
It does not matter.
And it's the same thing with deer and headlights, brother.
And turkeys. Turkeys are worse. Like,
dude,
I've seen turkeys.
I've seen they bake it though. You can just eat the turkey right off the ground.
I personally haven't seen it. But if I were to have seen it, a 50 BMG hits a turkey, it's like a pillow fight. Yeah.
I mean,
and the other turkeys, they don't care.
I think that's what it looks like when you shoot a terrorist as well.
And the other turkeys don't care. They just look around like, hey, what happened to Matt?
That's what a turkey looks like when you shoot it with a 12 gauge too.
What is it, like a fucking 338 Lapua?
It's a 50 BMG.
50 BMG.
Well, 50 BMG, I'm talking about the Lapua round.
Oh, no, a 50
BMG is about twice the size of a 30.
I understand that, but dude, the Lapua round.
So if a 50 passes within a certain distance of you, it doesn't even have to hit you. It will still kill you by the shock of the round.
You do realize that 50 BMG has actually been developed for small arms, taking down Hummers,
Yeah,
taking down small RVs.
Yes.
50 BMG was not actually developed for personnel takedown.
No, but we do it anyway because fuck you. That's
No,
why.
exactly. Yeah, I totally feel you. But that's not what 50 BMG was designed for.
Yeah, with light armor and you know vehicle, like it's supposed to go through the block of an
Dude,
engine.
like your 5.6 Creedmoor, your Valkyrie round, your
Fuck
shit
a
like that.
5.6
like,
Creedmoor.
I'm
Dude,
just saying
Creedmoor-
that is what the Lapua round is the most used round I think of the military for like long range sniping.
It is
I
now.
think.
It's I don't know if it's not the most used, but for like the longest shots, it's definitely
that's French, right?
It's accurate,
Or is it
and it's got a
Canadian?
lot of
the record longest confirmed kill was a 338 Lapua.
But it was a Canadian.
That Canadian
sniper.
sniper.
Yeah.
It was like 2,700 meters or something.
Yeah.
God,
That's a mile.
badass.
That's over a mile and a half away. That's
That's a
insane.
long shot, dude. That's insane.
Previous to that, it
Absolutely
was a
insane.
50 BMG from a Barrett.
Yeah.
And then
Dude,
previous to that,
they
it was a
incinerate
50 BMG from a Mob Deuce.
Yes. Hathcock. Carlos
Yeah.
Hathcock. Yep.
Had
Vietnam.
a
he had-
fucking deuce, like a machine
He had a
gun.
scope.
So here,
on it.
let
He had
me tell
scope.
you a story.
Oh shit.
Okay,
That
I'll tell
thing's
you a quick
pretty
story.
accurate. It
So
really is.
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate.
6 feet.
Hey,
I have a lot of time behind that thing. It's pretty damn accurate. You'd be surprised.
It's like 6. You have at that range, it's like 6 feet. So.
oh
but
yeah,
anyway.
he definitely got lucky.
So
but
anyway.
he still hit it.
So he was a sniper in
what do
Vietnam.
you have for gators, Jim?
So he was a sniper in Vietnam, and it was on Hill 55 was where they were stationed, and he would be on machine gun duty because that was his original like assignment, and they would come out and they realized that like, oh well, the snipers can shoot us at this far away, so we'll just stay this far away and they can't shoot us. So they're like coming out and he's just like watching them. And he goes to the mechanics and they're like, hey, can you build me a mount to put my scope on a Mod Deuce? And they're like, yeah, sure. So he would come out, when he was on duty, he would zero it every day. He would fire at this giant freaking rock that he would zero his scope in. So he would fire 3 shots every day, just tap him off. So one day he's out there and this Viet Cong guy just comes out and just thinks it's going to be a great idea to sit on top of the rock that he zeroed his scope in. He just sits down on top of the rock and is like looking around in binoculars. And he like taps his CO that was there. And he's like,
Bye.
hey, do you see this? And you're like, what? The guy sitting on that rock. Which rock? The one I zero in on every day? So he squeezes one off, and the dude stood up. So it's a 3-second flight time for the bullet at that distance. After he fired, he's watching in the scope, and the dude stands up and he catches it right in the head.
No,
So if
hold
he
up
had-
though.
Unlucky
I
as
thought
shit.
is the bullet at that range? Is the bullet still traveling faster than the speed of sound?
I don't know when it.
Maybe.
I don't know when it goes.
Maybe.
Tran.
Because I was about to say he should be getting hit in the head before he ever hears the gunshot.
He never
go
heard it.
off.
He just
No,
stood
he
up.
never
Yeah,
heard
no,
it.
yeah.
He just randomly
never heard
he
it.
just randomly stood up and went, and then
Oh, so he just tried to shoot over.
And then he
top of
turned
it.
into
no,
pink mist.
he just because there's a lot of
It's minutes of angle essentially.
so he had about in perfect conditions with the grade of ammo, like that's just regular machine gun ammo. They didn't have match grade ammo. The ballistics say you have about 6 feet. If you make a perfect shot, that shot could go anywhere in a 6-foot circle. So,
Hey.
dude just stands up. The dude's like, "Oh yeah, I'm done glassing." He hasn't heard a shot or anything. Just stands up and catches it right in the head.
Unlucky as hell. It's
like Jim
funny.
said, if he heard it, he missed.
100%.
Kind of crazy though. That was such a crazy story. I'm assuming you've read that book, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Great book.
Yeah. The dude.
Sniper.
It's funny because the M2 is like virtually very, very, very unchanged
Oh,
from what it was. Like there are very many Modus M2s that were put in service in 1918 that are still out there.
Yeah, just swap out
Like,
the barrels and parts.
Pretty
and
much.
stuff,
Pretty much. Like it's such a neat concept. It literally they struck gold right away. But yeah, dude, that thing when you shoot that thing, it the shockwave of that 50 goes through you. Like it's like 3 to 5 second. It's funny because when you hold the trigger in order to time the 3 to 5 second burst, they tell you every time you hold the trigger, you say "Die, motherfucker, die," and then you let it go. I swear to God, it's a thing. It's "Die, motherfucker, die." Let it go, and that's your 3 to 5, depending on
depending on how fast you set it.
pretty much. And the reason they say that is it's because when you first start shooting, it's a 5, but as that barrel heats up, it goes down to 3 second burst, which is
Interesting.
I know. Like the hotter the barrel gets, the lesser the rate of fire, which is weird.
Everything's probably swelling up.
Probably has. Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's
I'm
burning
sure it has
off
something to do-
excess gas.
Yeah, so the gas return, the gas return pressure is lower.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's a fun. That thing is so much fun to shoot. And the thing of it is like we set up a tripod and you have sandbags on them and stuff. And when you shoot them, like sand will just fly up. Like because you got it in a sand pit and it'll just like it's like a cloud every time you shoot. Like like it's pretty wild.
Well, what's it called when you use a gas propelled bolt?
Well, most of them are open bolt weapons.
Well, you use the gas from the fire to propel the bolt back.
It's just a
load the next
gas-operated
one.
firearm.
It's gas operated, but it's the
That's what it is. It's gas operated.
Automatic.
yeah. But what's the automatic? What's the scientific term for the velocity of the gas?
I don't know.
There's a term I'm looking for here for the velocity of the gas that needs to be used. By the way, this is what I love about Bass and Bait Radio because we can talk about some bass fishing, we can talk about some batteries, have some representatives come on here, and then we can start talking about hunting and guns because this is America and this is what we love.
Oh, here. So I had a friend that used, HP White Laboratories. Tony, do you know where that is?
No.
So it's up in Street. They do a lot of firearm testing there.
Okay.
And they do a lot of testing for the military. Cool. And so a friend of mine used to work there, and they were testing like armor plating for Humvees.
Okay.
So that's the kind of testing they do. Like they want to test like
That's cool.
what can get through this. So they're trying to figure out like, well, what's the max velocity that machine gun round, a 7.62 round needs to go to go through this. So they necked down a 50 BMG casing to 7.62.
Oh my God! Why?
Because that's
Jim, you fucking savage.
because that's they were trying to fire. They were doing it at max velocity.
Oh hell yeah!
So they were.
Dude, what was that picture taken in Afghanistan, Jim? For Christ's sake, that's what it looks like.
What was he? So they were just testing like what velocity the bullet would have to travel. Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Wow, that's a lot of guns.
It's a small arsenal.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so they were just testing like what velocity it would need to do to like penetrate the armor.
Right.
They did all kinds of crazy stuff up there. They built a
Oh, I see silencers. I like it.
was
that a fucking Uzi?
Let me see it.
so the
There's
gun.
a fucking Uzi right there. That is a Uzi. Oh, it's got a can on it.
It might be a Mac 11 actually.
So the
yes.
gun that they used to fire this, and I use that term loosely, had a 20-foot barrel.
Nice.
That is
So-
sick.
Excess velocity. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they did. They had some cool stuff. I actually applied for a job there, and
It is a Mac 11.
in their
Told you.
in their
What's up, Ken? Thanks for joining us, brother.
in their like front room, they have all they because they do a lot of like high speed camera work there.
Right.
So they had the front room had all of these pictures of a 22 round going through different objects. So it was like an egg, and it's this like while the bullet is inside the egg. So like you see like the indent where it went into the egg, and the bullet's still inside the egg and it hasn't come out the other side.
Oh, that's cool as shit. Wow.
Interesting.
Very
cool,
cool.
really cool high speed camera shit that they did up there. It's pretty wild.
Will my GoPro do that?
I don't think so.
It will not. I still need to fire my M16A1. I have not shot that thing yet.
That was probably like 100,000 frames per second.
Don't you have an M1 Grand?
No, but I'm gonna buy. I may have already bought one.
I want to shoot an M1 Grand.
Why?
Because it's cool.
Because
An
you
M1
just,
Grand
you just
is
wanna,
cool.
You just want to hear when it runs out of ammo. That's
Well,
the-
so
that's
no.
the
You know
only
what?
re-
I'm
that's
just
the only
saying,
reason I
they
wanted to
bitch
run
that the
that.
AR-15 kills all these people. The M1 Grand, a bolt-action rifle, has killed more people
It's a
than
semi.
any fucking gun in history. It's a semi, but
yeah,
it's a
semi.
5-clip magazine.
8.
5 is a
8.
Is it 8?
It's 8.
I thought it was 5.
And
It's-
it's
so-
30-06, and
Yes.
it's
Yes,
badass.
it will fucking destroy you.
So it's
And
an
it's
8,
also the reason that we fucked shit up in World War II.
I love it.
pretty much. So
Because
Yes, it
everybody, like
That's why it's so respectable. Like, that's a...
everybody we were fighting against had bolt action rifles.
it's funny you say that because the M1 Garand actually used the clip, the ping. You know,
Yeah.
It's a
It's a clip. It's not a magazine.
I can't remember the name of. It's a very specific thing, but that was actually modeled after the Austrian Steyr M95, which I own. World War One. Pretty cool weapon. It's a straight pull bolt. And what
shot
happened?
that?
What's that?
You shot it?
No, because ammo is impossible to find. I mean, I have some, but it's like I don't want to shoot it because it's like.
Damn, Kevin.
So the Steyr M95, it has a
Kevin, go.
end block. That's what it's called.
Poolside.
What happened? Oh, is he? Oh,
Kevin-
went to
Kevin-
jail.
Kevin's
Hanging out
poolside
poolside?
prepping the
That's
boat.
awesome. So the it's called an N block, ENBLOC. It's French. The M1 Garand was modeled off of that, but it came from the Steyr M95, which is an Austrian/German World War One and World War II weapon. The Steyr M95 is a 5-click N block, 5-round N block. You push it in, you load it. It's a straight bolt, so you don't rotate. You just straight back, straight forth. Very efficient, very fast. When you load the 5th round into the chamber, the clip drops out of the receiver, and it has a very distinct ping
Yes.
because it drops out. The M1 Garand, it ejects out, and it makes a very distinct ping. It's pretty cool.
Also heard that it was designed that way. It was not the myth was it was designed that way to tell you like when to reload. Mm-hmm. But in real life scenarios, you'll never fucking hear that.
No. So it's funny
So
though.
it was just like a
because
myth because they're like, oh, that ping that just tells you when to reload. Like nobody's going to hear that.
An interesting thing about the M1 Garand is there's a lot of accounts of GIs that would keep spare like bent up and destroyed M block clips. And they would throw them so that they would ping. So the Germans would think, oh, he's reloading, and they pop up, and then they shoot him in the face.
Wait, so is the ping actually like a spring-loaded thing?
So
the spring
how
in
it
the
works
spring
is-
is in your.
I'm just gonna say, like,
in
how
your
are you
gun.
gonna throw that and make the ping noise if it's not
metal.
loaded?
it's metal.
a piece of metal.
It's just the way it's
yeah,
designed.
but it's got to be two pieces of metal hitting together.
No, you're throwing it. It's hitting the ground. It's just metal hitting the ground.
No, it's ejecting from the
No,
receiver.
the sound. I meant the sound. The
No,
sound.
the sound is the ejection from the receiver.
That's what I
because
thought.
there's a spring loaded.
I thought the sound was
Yeah.
I thought the sound was the sound of it hitting the ground.
It's from it ejecting
No.
because what happens is there's like a lever or something in there.
You've played Call of Duty, right?
Well, what
I
happens
don't base my gun knowledge off of Call.
when you
But it's
fire
real.
when you fire the
it's
last
real life,
round,
man. I play Call of Duty. I can be a soldier.
when you fire the last round, the round is what holds that end block clip from ejecting. So when you fire that last round, the charging handle comes back and the lever pushes that thing up. That's why it flies out. Now, I spoke extremely unscientifically, but that is the
gist
crux.
of things.
Yeah, I mean I understand how that works, but
Yeah. But the end block on the M95 bolt action rifle does the same thing. I bought that thing at Clark's Gun Locker up in Aberdeen. Great place to buy guns, by the way. If you're ever in the market for a firearm, dude, I spent $200 on that thing. It's one of the
where at?
Clark's Gun Locker up in Aberdeen.
Oh,
off of
Clark's.
40. Yeah,
my friend
Clark's
used to
is
work there.
awesome. I love Clark's.
I will only buy my guns from Top Gun
I don't know if
Firearms.
he's
Top
I don't
Gun's
know-
great.
I don't know if he still works there or not.
But
Name's Alex, black guy.
I think he maybe the guy I always
Funny as
got
shit.
from. He's a big dude named Tyler. real nice guy. But this thing is one of the only 8x50 Steyr M95s left. There's like very few of them. I got to shoot that thing. The problem is if you're going to shoot it regularly, you're either manufacturing ammo or you're spending $2 to $8 a round, which no. But if you want to manufacture your own ammo, have fun spending $300-400 on a die set and all the shit that you need to actually manufacture your rounds.
Is it Clark Loan and Jewelry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my friend Alex works there.
I have bought a lot of firearms from them. I bought 2 shotguns from them, a handgun,
Is that where you,
a couple rifles.
Is that where you got the City Connect shotgun?
It is. The Call of Duty Black Ops shotgun.
Shocker.
Fifth Prestige. Fifth Prestige.
Shocker that came from Aberdeen.
Right, I know, right? Can you believe it?
Yeah, I actually
What did Jim say? Holy shit.
Jim, I appreciate you giving us that much time.
I'm on here, not her.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to get out of here too.
That's what's on.
Yep.
Jim, I love it. Full
Guys, we are out of here for the evening. We're glad to be back. Tony, you're out next week, correct?
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to go to
And we're going to
Africa.
see where the wind blows. Hopefully, me and Paul can make something happen, or me and Rob maybe.
What's the date? It's the 6th. No, I can't do next week because I got to get up stupid early on Saturday.
Okay. Well, I will try to plan with maybe somebody else to come on the show or something like that.
See if Rob can get on.
We're going to try to get with Rob. We're going to try to get back in the flow, doing what we need to do, and being back to Bassabee Radio. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the comments, and talk to you guys